Chapter 162. When it came to playing cards, once you got into it, you couldn't stop. In just a moment, the entire hot pot restaurant was filled with killing. 3 and 2, 3 small white fish and 2 small white shrimps. 3 big yellow croakers and 2 small white shrimp. Squashed. 3 blade fish and 2 green turtles. Bomb 4 tentacle lobsters. Hurry up! My stomach is growling. Han Fei was very satisfied with his sales pitch. But when he returned to his table, Xia Xiaochan and the others had already started fighting. Han Fei glanced at the bad cards that Xia Xiaochan had, and the best one was the snake belt. Where is Zhang Xuanyu? Xia Xiaochan pursed her lips. Up there. Following Xia Xiaochan's hand, she found that the boy was sitting at a table with a group of little girls. At this moment, he was surrounded by a circle of young girls, some of whom even wanted to sit on him. Han Fei shuddered. How shameless! How could a person be so shameless? Suddenly, Xia Xiaochan said angrily to Han Fei, "Han Fei, you've gone too far. He didn't even tell us about such a fun thing." Humph. Lu Renkuang echoed, "It's really too much. She doesn't even share the good stuff." Han Fei was speechless. "You've lost your ambition." He Xiaoyu leaned over. "Han Fei, how does the 4th Academy train the students? It's tough, right? Is that why his strength can increase so quickly?" While talking, He Xiaoyu glanced at Xia Xiaochan. Xia Xiaochan said as she played, "We don't have regular training." He practiced whatever he could think of. Practice, practice, and become a great fishing master. Zhang Xuanyu refused to practice it, but he was only a peak-level fishing master. "He Xiaoyu?" Lu Renkuang's lips trembled as he said, "Xia Xiaochan means to cultivate hard and kill more people. As long as I slash people well, I'll definitely become a great fishing master." Xia Xiaochan gritted her teeth. "Quang, He Xiaoyu." Han Fei's face was all black. "T, don't be fooled by their words. They are all lunatics when they practice." He Xiaoyu finally let out a sigh of relief. How could anyone become a great fishing master so easily? He Xiaoyu whispered in Han Fei's ear, "I am an intermediate fishing master." "Then you've made great progress. It's really fast." He Xiaoyu complained, "Who knew you would become a great fishing master so soon?" Wang Baiyu suddenly asked, "If you really win a 100-game winning streak in the Blue Sea Arena, will the Thug Academy enroll students this year? At that time, there will be a lot of people fighting to get in." Wang Baiyu had an idea. After Han Fei went to the 4th Academy, he checked the history of the 4th Academy. Then, he was shocked. If he could, he even wanted to give it a try. Xia Xiaochan paused and looked at Luo Xiaobai. "It doesn't seem easy to get in." Wang Baiyu raised his eyebrows. "What do you mean?" Xia Xiaochan pointed at Han Fei. "Why don't you ask Han Fei how he came in?" Wang Baiyu, He Xiaoyu, and the others all looked at Han Fei. Han Fei scratched his belly and said, "I have to resist the 4 of them for 5 seconds to pass." His Xia Wushuang, Xiang Nan, and Jia Tong almost hugged each other and shivered. We didn't dare to speak or ask. Wang Baiyu and He Xiaoyu were both stunned. What was going on? How could he last 5 seconds under the attacks of these freaks? Are you kidding me? How many of the 10 teams could last 5 seconds? Besides, they were a complete team. Gulp. Xia Wushuang asked, "Han Fei, how long did you last?" Han Fei paused. "Not long. I just passed. My physique is relatively strong." Lu Renkuang snorted. "Liar, you lasted for almost 5 minutes. The teacher stopped you." Han Fei scoffed. "You didn't try your best at that time." His Xia Wushuang said, "I can't stand it anymore. Can we change tables now? I want to learn how to pick up girls from Zhang Xuanyu." Jia Tong shook his head. "First of all, you have to be as good-looking as him." Xiang Nan. Xia Xiaochan glanced at Han Fei secretly and didn't speak. However, she could roughly understand that after a person jumped from one circle to another, it would be very difficult to go back. Before Han Fei continued to discuss, someone exclaimed, "Shit, what kind of food is this? Why does it have such a magical taste? Oh my god, I haven't eaten it yet and I'm already drooling just from the smell." Someone shouted at Han Fei's table, "Han Fei, what is this?" Han Fei responded loudly, "Hot pot. Fish Dragon Hot Pot is a unique craft of the fish dragons. Damn, it's so delicious." Someone picked up his chopsticks and almost bit off his own tongue when he took a bite. Lu Renkuang swallowed. A group of greenhorns. "We eat it every day." Everyone in the hot pot restaurant was here to chase after their idol. However, when they saw that Han Fei and Xia Shaochan were in love, they didn't care about the boys. Some people even wanted to confess their love to Luo Xiaobai, but Luo Xiaobai didn't even talk to the people at her table, let alone outsiders. In the end, only the shameless Zhang Xuanyu was left, eating and drinking at her table. Fortunately, they didn't come in vain. This hot pot was really delicious. It could be said that it was the most delicious dish they had ever eaten in their lives, and it made up for the grief of countless people for being lovelorn. After eating and drinking, Han Fei said goodbye to He Xiaoyu and the others. He Xiaoyu asked, "Han Fei, can I go to the 4th Academy to play?" Before Han Fei spoke, Luo Xiaobai said, "No." He Xiaoyu frowned. "Why?" Luo Xiaobai said coldly, "If you can get in, we welcome you. But if you come to play, it will affect everyone's cultivation. Besides, the Thug Academy is not a place that anyone can enter. Han Fei can't make the decision." Han Fei scratched his belly, a little embarrassed. "He Xiaoyu, I'll go to see you later. Our school is indeed a little special." He Xiaoyu pouted. "Okay." Watching Han Fei and the others leave, He Xiaoyu stomped the ground hard. "What? She's awesome. Why does she look down on us?" Wang Baiyu said lightly, "She didn't look down on us. This Luo Xiaobai is a very rational person. She must have her reasons for not letting you go. Maybe it's because of their cultivation methods, or maybe it's because of other reasons." Xiang Nan faintly said, "Xiaoyu, in fact, I suddenly feel that the gap between us and Han Fei is a bit big. Among the 5 people, the weakest is Zhang Xuanyu, right? As a peak-level fishing master, he could fight a great fishing master alone. What about the others? Xia Shaochan killed her opponents almost in a flash. That fatty. Wang Baiyu, you are an armorist. What do you think?" Wang Baiyu sighed. "It's impossible. I don't think any junior great fishing master can resist his torrents of knives and swords." Xia Wushuang also shook his head. "Yes. As for Luo Xiaobai, not everyone could be the captain. Since you can, you must have a reason to be the captain." Chen Qing reminded, "Don't forget how Han Fei survived the claws of the purple-tailed Scorpion King. Did that purple-tailed Scorpion King die?" Everyone was silent. He Xiaoyu said anxiously, But even if they are all geniuses, so what? Are we going to alienate them?" Wang Baiyu smiled. "Han Fei is not alienating you, but we can't jump into his circle for the time being. If I'm not mistaken, the 5 of them are undergoing an extremely important test or trial. The top 100 of the arena is just their first small goal. I don't know what they are doing, but this test must be very difficult. So, they need to cultivate. And if they need to cultivate, they can't waste too much time on other things, do you understand?" He Xiaoyu looked gloomy. "I'm going back to school." On Han Fei's side, Luo Xiaobai said lightly, "None of them can enter our school." Han Fei said unhappily, "Don't treat everyone as monsters, okay? He Xiaoyu also has an exotic spiritual beast, Little Red." Xia Shaochan tilted her head and looked at Han Fei. "Did you teach her anything?" "Huh." Xia Shaochan said slyly, "I can see it. Her walking posture, the strength of her limbs, and the point of force exertion are a bit strange, a bit like your incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing." Han Fei was surprised. "You can see that?" Xia Shaochan giggled. It seems that you are very interested in this little girl. Han Fei scratched his belly. Before, when I was in the village, I didn't know anyone well, right? In the 4 years of study, there were only 2 people who didn't alienate me, and he Xiaoyu was one of them. Zhang Xuanyu put his arm around Han Fei's neck. So, like me, you are a lonely friend? Han Fei's face darkened. F***ck off, I am a lonely friend. Luo Xiaobai was still cold. Even so, she is still not good enough. I admit that the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing is very powerful, but it's only powerful, especially after we learn life-saving combat skills. Han Fei was a little unhappy. Don't always measure a person by strength. Han Fei was a little unhappy and sighed in his heart. Since he met Luo Xiaobai and the others, he knew that there were many geniuses in this world. Would he still be like an ordinary person in the future? The God of Fishing. To talk about the God of Fishing with more like-minded people, follow Yuwa Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidence. Read 2. Chapter 163. On the way back to school, the atmosphere was a bit weird. There seemed to be a conflict between Luo Xiaobai and Han Fei. Rumble, suddenly, there was a muffled thunder in the sky, and countless people ran home. Someone shouted, "Let's go home and wait for the rain." Lu Renquang hurriedly said, "Oh, let's go back to school. Don't get the new clothes we just bought wet." Zhang Xuanyu sneered. "Are you stupid? Han Fei is here. He is a spirit gatherer and has learned water control. How can the rain touch you?" However, Han Fei shouted, "It's thundering, it's raining. Let's go home and collect the clothes." Everyone. As soon as they ran to the plantation, the heavy rain poured down, and Han Fei could only act as an artificial umbrella. When they returned to school, Han Fei suddenly said, "I'm going to the mountains to practice water control. This kind of weather is very suitable for my cultivation. Don't disturb me." Lu Renquang waved his hand. "Go, go. I'll stay in the treehouse." Zhang Xuanyu pondered. "I'm going to break through to be a great fishing master. Don't disturb me." Xia Xiaochan was surprised. "Are you going to make a breakthrough?" Zhang Xuanyu chuckled. "I've felt it for a long time. Now it seems to be just the right time." Luo Xiaobai nodded flatly. "Okay, I'm going to the library to see if there are any combat skills for manipulators." Xia Xiaochan looked around alone. "Forget it, I'll go to the treehouse too." Everyone dispersed and Han Fei ran straight up the mountain. Instead of going to the cave halfway up the mountain, he rushed up the mountain until he climbed more than 2,000 meters high, where there were clouds and mist. Then he found a big stone and sat down in the middle. For so long, he had been waiting for this kind of thunderstorm weather in order to cover up the breakthrough of void fishing. At this moment, Han Fei took out the ultra-quality spiritual stone. Deduce. The ultra-quality spiritual stone in Han Fei's hand suddenly burst out a large amount of spiritual energy, crazily pouring into Han Fei's body. Huh! Why did the little calabash light up? Han Fei was slightly surprised. The demon purification pot hadn't moved for a long time, but it flashed just now. But after a few dozen seconds, thunder rumbled in the sky and the rain became heavier and heavier. Within 100 seconds it turned into a downpour, and it seemed to be getting heavier. After the time it takes for half an incense stick to burn, it was no longer just a matter of thunder. Tian lightning streaked across the sky, and large areas of the sky were rendered abnormally strange by the lightning. After half an hour, when Han Fei was about halfway through the deduction of the void fishing art, a voice suddenly rang out. Boom! A bolt of lightning struck down. How could Han Fei react in time? He was struck by a bolt of lightning. Pft! Han Fei vomited a mouthful of blood. His entire body was numb, and his hair was standing on end. F***ck, why did you strike me? Boom! Another bolt of lightning fell on his head, and Han Fei was stunned. Smoke came out of his mouth. I'm F***king cultivating. Who did he offend? Who did he offend? Han Fei felt that there was no part of his body that didn't hurt, and his internal organs were greatly shaken. He was aghast. Could it be that he was the one who attracted the lightning? No way. God, I didn't say that I was handsome, and I didn't do anything bad. Why did you strike me? At this moment, the demon purification pot was flickering with blue light, almost integrated with the electric arcs on the surface of his body, and in Han Fei's body, spiritual energy was surging. The third bolt of lightning struck down, and Han Fei felt that his whole body was scorched. If it weren't for his extraordinary physique, he would have been struck to death at this moment. No, this lightning is striking me. I can't move now. What should I do? What should I do? With a thought, dozens of low-quality spiritual stones appeared in Han Fei's hands. Indestructible body, cultivate. Han Fei could see the electric arcs flashing on his body, and sometimes there was a crackling sound. After thinking about it, he could only cultivate the indestructible body crazily. Only the indestructible body needed to be tempered constantly. But when he remembered the pain of being skinned, Han Fei felt that since he couldn't stop it, he might as well start cultivating wholeheartedly. His flesh and internal organs contained a lot of energy at this moment. Pfft! Han Fei vomited a mouthful of blood, which was the result of forcibly cultivating his internal organs with the indestructible body. Han Fei skipped the tempering of his flesh and blood and directly began to repair his internal organs. Not to mention his muscles, his internal organs would have been broken. Rumble, Xia Shaochan and Lu Renkuang sat in their respective treehouses, opened the windows, and looked at each other. Lu Renkuang sighed. This rain is a bit heavy. The lightning is so fierce. It seems to have fallen behind the mountain. Xia Shaochan held her chin. It's normal. I've never seen such weather before. However, the lightning is quite beautiful. Lu Renkuang smacked his lip. Cultivating on such a day? I wonder what the two of them are thinking. If they were struck by lightning, it would be so painful. With that said, Lu Renkuang shuddered. Xia Shaochan continued, the lightning struck on the other side of the mountain, not at the foot. However, when it rains, we should gather in the cave to eat barbecue. Lu Renkuang nodded. Xia Shaochan, I find that you can also eat a lot now. How many times have you stolen Mr. Xiao Zhan's bull conches? F***ck off. The two of them were chatting through the windows of the treehouses. Little did they know that Han Fei had been struck so hard that he didn't look human at this moment. His internal organs were damaged, his muscles were filled with the power of lightning, and his bones were numb. His body was no longer sitting on the ground, but lying on his back, facing the sky. Han Fei could only watch the lightning strike down, one after another. God, you're too much! Damn it, isn't it enough? My lord, I'm going to die soon. Is there anyone who can save me? 1 hour later. The deduction of the void fishing art was completed. Han Fei could also see the display. Existing art void fishing, spirit level, divine quality, 3rd level water vein technique remarks the first universal ancient art, written by the ancient 9 king level masters. On the day the book was completed, heaven and earth cried, and the waves of anger surged into the sky. Han Fei took a long breath. Finally, the deduction was completed. It seemed that he had been deducing in the cave before, so the lightning couldn't hit him. Now that he was not in the cave, he was immediately punished. Rumble, another bolt of lightning struck down, and Han Fei's chest was bleeding. Han Fei was stunned. Hasn't the deduction been successful? Why the hell are you still striking? Is there no end to it? At the foot of the mountain, in the treehouse, Lu Renkuang and Xia Shaochan saw Zhang Xuanyu running back. Lu Renkuang wondered, didn't you go to make a breakthrough? Are you done? Zhang Xuanyu wiped the rain on his face. I'm done. Originally, I wanted to consolidate my strength. However, the lightning kept striking me. My eyelids kept twitching. How could I be in the mood to consolidate my strength? Xia Shaochan yawned in boredom. You deserve it. Zhang Xuanyu smiled. It's not me, it's Han Fei who deserves it. I saw him climb up the mountain. In this weather, he climbed up to cultivate. Isn't he asking to be struck by lightning? Xia Xiaochan was surprised. He climbed up the mountain? Zhang Xuanyu was puzzled. Yes. I went into the mountain with him. I only climbed a few hundred meters. When I saw him last, he had climbed thousands of meters. Xia Xiaochan frowned. I'll go and have a look. Why should he cultivate in this weather? Call him back to play cards. The four of us can share a table. Lu Renkuang agreed. Good, I like it. It would be even better if we can eat barbecue. Zhang Xuanyu nodded. I agree. It's good to have fun and eat. Xia Xiaochan ran out with a swish. Of course, they were not really afraid of the rain, but shouldn't they stay indoors in rainy weather? On the mountain. It had been half an hour since the third level of void fishing was deduced. Han Fei was struck a dozen more times. Puff! Han Fei felt that the blood in his body was about to run out. His internal organs were damaged, then repaired, damaged again, and repaired again. He was going to vomit blood. An ultra-quality spiritual stone had long been broken into powder, and he had taken out nearly 40 low-quality spiritual stones. If it weren't for the spiritual energy in his body, Han Fei felt that he would have died. However, there were still benefits. Han Fei clearly felt that his strength seemed to be growing at a strange speed. He couldn't tell whether this was the disaster caused by the void fishing or the aftereffects caused by the indestructible body. Anyway, the energy in his body was now full to the point of exploding. That was not all. Han Fei could clearly feel that the energy in his stomach was being split apart bit by bit. Then, it integrated into the muscles and bones of his whole body. Han Fei moved his fingers and seemed to be able to move a little. He wondered if he hadn't been struck by lightning when he deduced the void fishing art several times before. So now he had to make up for it all at once. After another half an hour, Han Fei broke another 10 low-quality spiritual stones. However, the number of times he was struck by lightning was reduced by nearly half. This was good news. Han Fei. When Xia Xiaochan came over, her face changed drastically. She saw that Han Fei had been struck out of shape. At that time, she hurriedly ran up, trying to drag Han Fei away. Be careful. The God of Fishing. If you want to talk about God of Fishing with more like-minded people, follow Yuwa Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidants read too. Chapter 164. Han Fei's eyes widened. Damn it, why is Xia Xiaochan here? Didn't I tell you not to disturb me? At that moment, Han Fei gathered all his strength and pressed Xia Xiaochan under his body. Rumble, a bolt of lightning fell and Han Fei vomited a mouthful of blood on Xia Xiaochan's face. Xia Xiaochan had never seen such a scene before. She was stunned. Although most of the lightning power was blocked by Han Fei, Xia Xiaochan's whole body was numb and blood was oozing from the corner of her mouth. Xia Xiaochan was a little surprised. She didn't know if it was an illusion, but when the power of lightning entered her body, she felt that her body seemed to be a little stronger. It was very weak, but it was there. After dozens of seconds, Xia Xiaochan's body finally recovered some consciousness and she immediately said, "Let's go, hurry up." However, Han Fei was unmoved. At this moment, his whole body was like charcoal, and his clothes had already turned into charcoal and stuck to his body. Plus the blood on his body's surface mixed with the impurities forced out by the lightning, he had already turned into a shell. Han Fei said with difficulty, "I can't go away." Xia Xiaochan wanted to get up. "Why can't I go away?" Rumble, another bolt of lightning struck down, making Han Fei's body sink. With a muffled cough, Han Fei vomited a mouthful of blood again. However, Xia Xiaochan's body was numb again. Han Fei hinted with his eyes that I said I can't go away. I told you not to come here, but you just had to come here. Strangely, the two of them just stared at each other with their eyes wide open. Every minute or so, there would be a bolt of lightning. Anyway, every time Xia Shaochan was about to recover the ability to move, the lightning would come down. Xia Shaochan asked, "What on earth have you done to deserve this? How did you get hit like this?" Han Fei replied, "How do I know? I just sat here and haven't cultivated yet, and it hit me." Xia Shaochan asked, "Don't move." Han Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "I didn't move." Xia Shaochan blushed. Han Fei's clothes had long been smashed, and now there was only a layer of black shell on his body. And Xia Shaochan herself was not much better. Her clothes had been hit by the lightning several times and had been torn. A large area of her skin was exposed. Xia Shaochan said, "Don't look." Rumble, puff. 1 minute later. Han Fei's eyes widened as he looked at some indescribable pictures. "Don't look, I didn't do it on purpose. We're all kids." At the bottom of the mountain. Music. Lu Renkuang and Zhang Xuanyu stared at each other. Lu Renkuang was puzzled. Why did Xia Shaochan take so long? "It's been an hour, hasn't it?" Zhang Xuanyu shrugged. "It must have been Xia Shaochan who attacked Han Fei. She liked that. Last time, when I was cultivating properly, she suddenly slashed at me with her saber, almost cutting off my face. At this time, Luo Xiaobai came back from the library and climbed into her treehouse, only to see the two of them staring at each other. Where's Shaochan? Lu Renkuang said helplessly. He went to the mountain to fight with Han Fei. Luo Xiaobai frowned. Didn't Han Fei ask us not to disturb him? Zhang Xuanyu chuckled. Haha, you really don't know Xia Shaochan. She can listen? In our group, she likes to fight the most. So the three of them began to stare at each other. Little did they know that on the top of the mountain, Xia Shaochan had gone crazy and her clothes were cut off. Han Fei's eyelids twitched wildly. Don't panic. The lightning is getting less and less. Next time I'll... Rumble. 1 minute later. Han Fei, you're shameless. Yes, I'm shameless. I'm going to hack you to death. Yes, 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 when we go down the mountain, I'll let you hack me to death. Get up. I can't move. I'll bite you to death. Ba ba ba. A layer of the shell on Han Fei's shoulder was bitten off by Xia Shaochan, and it was covered with sticky dirt. Now, it stuck to him like a rice crust. Han Fei reminded her, be careful. Don't break your teeth. Xia Shaochan listened to him? She bit the exposed snow-white skin on Han Fei's shoulder. Ah! It hurts. Han Fei was speechless. I told you, you can't bite me. Look at the shell on my body, it's like an extra layer of scales. Xia Shaochan's eyes were about to burst into flames. Shut up. Han Fei, you're dead. You're dead. I'm going to hack you to death. I told you not to come to me. Xia Shaochan complained. Why can't the lightning kill you? Come on. Obviously, Xia Shaochan had already given up. Now she couldn't wait to strike a few more lightning bolts and turn Han Fei into a retard. But at this time, the rain had gradually subsided and the lightning seemed to have decreased a lot. Before, 1 or 2 lightning bolts came, but before this one, both of them could move, but the lightning hadn't come down yet. Bm. Han Fei was pushed out by Xia Shaochan. Go. Xia Shaochan looked at him and immediately hid behind a big stone in shame and anger. Xia Shaochan poked her head out and said angrily, Clothes. Han Fei was helpless. Where are the clothes? Idiot, in the sea swallowing seashell. We bought a row of clothes. Han Fei immediately understood. This thing was not broken and he threw it into Forge the Universe. So Han Fei took out the sea-swallowing seashell and a set of clothes and handed them to Xia Shaochan behind the stone. Han Fei said, Xia Shaochan, don't come out yet. I'll get rid of the shell on my body and take a bath first. Xia Shaochan didn't say anything. Han Fei's body shook violently and large pieces of black shell fell off. At this time, Han Fei found that he had lost weight again. At least 2 times thinner. If he used to be a fat man of 500 kilograms, now he was 300 kilograms. Although he was still a little fat, the difference was like night and day. Han Fei felt full of strength, his muscles no longer hurt, his internal organs were repaired, and his bones were no longer sore. He even gave himself a hard rub. Suddenly, Han Fei felt a gust of wind behind him. Looking back, he saw Xia Shaochan stabbing at him with 2 daggers. The supreme stab's spiritual energy was flashing and sparks could be seen in the air. However, Han Fei turned around. Xia Shaochan was so scared that she covered her eyes in midair and jumped in the wrong direction, heading straight for the cliff. Han Fei grabbed Xia Shaochan. "Where are you jumping?" Xia Shaochan turned into a shadow, flashed over the ground, and stood behind the stone. "Han Fei, you are shameless, despicable, nasty hooligan. Hurry up and put on your clothes." Xia Shaochan kept muttering behind the stone. Han Fei stood in the rain and looked at the surrounding floating islands. After a long time, Xia Shaochan's voice disappeared, but no one came out. Han Fei looked back. "Xia!" The next second, Han Fei's face changed instantly. If the two of them were just playing and Han Fei was just helping Xia Shaochan resolve the unknown force in her body, then at this moment, Han Fei felt his heart tremble. In front of him, on the stone, Xia Shaochan's body surface emitted a strange red light, accompanied by electric currents. Hiss! Han Fei immediately knew that Xia Shaochan had an attack without any signs. "Shaochan!" Han Fei called softly. However, Xia Shaochan on the stone disappeared in the blink of an eye. Almost in the blink of an eye, a knife slashed at Han Fei's chest. Han Fei's reaction was fast enough. His body moved back a little, but he was still cut and his skin was torn. Han Fei immediately activated a spiritual energy protective cover, and at the same time, he held 2 knives in his hands. In the blink of an eye, they had fought dozens of times. Clang, 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 buzz, Han Fei's spiritual energy protective cover was broken again in less than a minute. In less than 2 minutes, there were 5 or 6 more wounds on Han Fei's body. Although the wounds were not deep, they were terrifying. He had just finished practicing the indestructible body art. After being tempered by the lightning, he had lost a lot of weight and the power in his body had soared, but he still couldn't resist the attack. Fuse! On the top of the mountain, Old Bai and the other 2 were watching. Xiao Zhan's face changed slightly and he was about to take action. Old Bai stopped Xiao Zhan. "Don't move. You can't stay with them all the time. Let Han Fei solve it himself." Xiao Zhan and Wenren Yu both looked pale and were ready to take action at any time. Below, Han Fei's strength soared after the fusion. He finally caught sight of Xiaochan's swift figure. The 2 of them began to fight crazily. For a moment, the rocks collapsed, and Han Fei soared into the air and controlled the water. The 2 of them couldn't even see their hands anymore, only the blurry shadows of knives and swords. All kinds of ordinary combat skills were used by Han Fei. However, Xia Shaochan wasn't weak at all. Her shadows, footwork, tricky daggers, and combat skills were only on par with Han Fei's. The contents of this chapter are mobile update. More terrifyingly, Han Fei found that he seemed to be able to control the fusion. Perhaps the attack was too strong, or perhaps it was for some unknown reason, but he felt that the state of fusion could be broken at any moment. Attach. 7-star chain. Bang bang bang. With the same speed, Han Fei finally tied up Xia Shaochan. She couldn't turn into a shadow anytime and anywhere. That required her to be in a state of freedom. After the stalemate lasted for half an hour, Xia Shaochan suddenly felt weak. Han Fei quickly helped her. "Xia Shaochan, hey, do you hear me?" "Xia Shaochan. Let me." "Calm down." Han Fei breathed a sigh of relief and cancelled the fusion and attachment. As soon as he cancelled it, he sat on the ground, panting. After a moment, Xia Shaochan looked at Han Fei guiltily with red eyes. Han Fei waved his hand and smiled. Forget it, we're even. Now I'm not mean, dirty, and shameless, right?" Puff! Xia Shaochan rolled her eyes at Han Fei. "Hurry up and go down the mountain. Don't tell anyone. And your clothes, hurry up and change. Han Fei looked down at the strips of cloth on his body and was speechless. I've changed into strips of cloth in less than 5 minutes? That's all money. God of Fishing. If you want to talk about God of Fishing with more like-minded people, follow UWA Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidence. Read 2. Chapter 165. On the top of the mountain, Wenren Yu looked at Old Bai. Old Bai, is Han Fei's thunder heritage? Old Bai shook his head slightly. I don't know. There are thousands of spiritual veins in the boundless world. Who knows? But I'm afraid it's possible for someone to block the lightning. Wenren Yu frowned. Okay, let's not talk about Han Fei for now. He is Mr. Zhang's disciple, so we can trust him. But what about Xia Xiaochan? Where did you bring her back? Will what happened just now happen again? Although our Thug Academy doesn't care about one's background or opportunities, don't forget how the Thug Academy declined back then. Old Bai sighed. My old friend's daughter asked me to take care of her. Don't think too much. Wenren Yu asked, who is your old friend? Xia Xiaochan doesn't have any spiritual veins and talents at all. Old Bai said lightly, there are thousands of spiritual veins in the boundless world. How can you be sure that Han Fei has a thunder heritage? How can you be sure that Xia Xiaochan's strange power is not an opportunity? There are too many opportunities in the boundless ocean. Who knows? At the foot of the mountain, when Han Fei and Xia Xiaochan returned, they immediately heard a scream, which came from Lu Renquang. Lu Renquang leaned against the window, widening his eyes. Hey, who are you? What did you do to Han Fei? Han Fei's face was black. Quang, you're too much. Lu Renquang was stunned. Damn, why did you lose so much weight? Tell me, what happened to you? It's only been 2 hours and you've lost so much weight? Wouldn't you be thinner than me in another 2 hours? Han Fei said angrily, I'm thinner than you. Why don't you go to the top of the mountain and try being struck by lightning? Lu Renquang was taken aback. Huh? You were struck by lightning? Han Fei stretched out his hand, his thumb and index finger close, and a blue arc flickered between the 2 fingers. F***CK. You were really struck by lightning? Xia Xiaochan snorted coldly. How miserable! Zhang Xuanyu was dumbfounded. Huh? Is that so? Don't lie to me. Of course. I've never heard of lightning that could make people thin, and I've never heard of anyone who was struck by lightning and could still stand on this side. Luo Xiaobai said lightly. He must have been hacked. He changed his clothes. Luo Xiaobai didn't know why, but the air suddenly became quiet. Because they found that not only had Han Fei's clothes changed, but so had Xia Xiaochan's. Was Xia Xiaochan also struck by lightning? At this moment, no one cared about why Han Fei lost weight. Because Han Fei had said countless times that he would lose weight. He was just temporarily fat. However, now that the 2 of them had gone up the mountain and changed their clothes, there was something to be said. Lu Renquang swallowed. They were gone for quite a long time. Zhang Xuanyu was horrified. He raised his hand and pointed at Han Fei, trembling. You're shameless. Bang! Zhang Xuanyu flew out of the treehouse like lightning. In the next moment, the treehouse was split into 2. While fleeing, Zhang Xuanyu shouted, Xia Xiaochan, I'll keep it a secret for you. I'll keep my mouth shut. I don't kill you. Luo Xiaobai suddenly realized something. I seem to have said something wrong. Lu Renquang patted his chest. It's so scary. I always feel a chill on my back. I don't know why, and I dare not ask. Zhang Xuanyu was chased across half of the school. Han Fei lay down in the treehouse, feeling shocked. Just now, Xia Xiaochan was much stronger. Why did the red light on her body feel like a kind of energy? Just like the candle dragon blood he absorbed? After a while, Han Fei stopped thinking about it. Since Xia Xiaochan and Old Bai didn't say it, it should be a secret that he couldn't tell others. Turning his head, he found that the data had changed a lot. Owner Han Fei level greater than 23, junior great fishing master, spiritual energy greater than 66,245, 2099, spiritual heritage level 4, low quality, upgradable, spiritual beast twin yin-yang spirit swallowing fish weapon, purple bamboo rod main art void fishing, volume 3, water vein technique, spirit level, divine quality. Han Fei was surprised to find that his upper limit of spiritual energy had broken through the bottleneck. Previously, it was stuck at 1,899 points. He thought that he would need to break through to an intermediate great fishing master before he could continue to improve. But now, after being struck by lightning for a while, he actually broke through the bottleneck. His spiritual heritage also broke through from level 3, high quality, to level 4, low quality. More importantly, the upper limit of his spiritual heritage was indeed the upper limit of his spiritual heritage. Han Fei felt full of strength as if he had just been charged, and electric arcs could still be seen between his fingers. Han Fei suddenly sat up, leaned against the window, and shouted, "Luo Xiaobai, what's your upper limit of spiritual energy?" Luo Xiaobai glanced at Han Fei. "It's almost 1,400. What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Quang, what about you?" Lu Renquang stretched out his head. "Just 1,400. What about you?" Han Fei rolled his eyes and pretended to be crazy. "Ha, I'm 1,700 now." Luo Xiaobai's face suddenly changed. "How is it possible? In theory, the upper limit that a junior great fishing master can reach is 1,500. Ordinary people can't even reach 1,200. How can you be so high?" Han Fei pretended to be stupid. "I was struck by lightning. Just one strike and it's much higher. I directly hacked from 1,400 to 1,700. Lu Renquang shook his head. "Lunatic, I don't want it. That's lightning. I've never seen anyone who can't be killed by a bolt of lightning. You are the only exception." Han Fei smacked his lips. This matter couldn't be concealed. Old Bai and the others must have known what happened just now. As for Xia Shaochan, she watched the whole process. She had been struck by lightning more than once. He had to find a way to fool her. Sure enough, after a while, Old Bai, Xiao Zhan, and Wenren Yu came. Xiao Zhan asked directly, "Han Fei, tell me, what happened?" Han Fei replied, "I don't know. I just wanted to cultivate. As soon as I sat down, I was struck by lightning before I had time to start cultivating." Wenren Yu chuckled. "Oh, I didn't die. That's a good thing." Han Fei complained, "Ms. Wenren, do you want me to die so much?" Wenren Yu rolled her eyes at Han Fei. "Do you have any special feelings?" Han Fei replied, "My upper limit of spiritual energy has skyrocketed and my physical strength seems to have also skyrocketed. And my spiritual heritage seems to have increased a little, everyone." Xiao Zhan frowned. "Are you sure? It's only natural that your physical strength has greatly increased. Lightning has the magical effect of refining impurities. It's understandable that your physical strength has greatly increased since you can withstand the baptism of lightning. But your upper limit of spiritual energy and spiritual heritage," Old Bai continued, "the great increase in physical strength has greatly increased the upper limit of your physique and meridians. This is understandable. But how much has your spiritual heritage improved?" Han Fei chuckled. "It seems to have broken through from level 3, high quality, to level 4. I don't know what level 4 is exactly." Old Bai glanced at Wenren Yu. "Bring me the spiritual heritage testing stone." After a while, Wenren Yu brought the stone over. Under everyone's curious gaze, Han Fei put his hand on the spiritual heritage testing stone. Then, a light blue light burst out. Everyone let out a sigh of relief. Old Bai muttered, "Level 4, low quality." Even Zhang Xuanyu, who was chased back, breathed a sigh of relief at this moment. This guy was struck by lightning, and an exotic spirit vein appeared. This was simply too exciting. Old Bai pondered for a moment and deliberately explained, Maybe it's just a pure baptism of lightning. If I'm not mistaken, when the power of lightning in your body is exhausted, the enhancement of your physical strength and the increase in your upper limit of spiritual energy will also stop, and it won't last long. Xiao Zhan patted Han Fei on the shoulder. Did you hear that? Cultivate well for the next 2 days and refine this lightning power. Han Fei grinned. When have I not been cultivating? Never stopped, okay? What do you know? My lord, he had used up all of his top-grade spirit stones and half of his low-grade spirit stones, but he had barely managed to forge his current achievements. Only Xia Xiaochan looked at Han Fei suspiciously with disheveled hair. Was it really as simple as being struck by lightning as the principal said? Absolutely impossible. She watched as Han Fei was struck by lightning and vomited blood everywhere. But now, he was sitting here telling everyone that he was in good health. His waist didn't hurt and his legs weren't sore. This was completely illogical. After everybody left, Han Fei secretly spent 1,000 points of spiritual energy to make a long red cloth with a bit of ruby from the sea silkworm cloth. Han Fei raised the red cloth and nodded in satisfaction. Ancient people used this to tie their hair, that's right. He shouted at the window, Xia Xiaochan, come here. All of a sudden, 3 heads popped out of the treehouse and stared at each other. Han Fei was helpless. It's none of your business. Xia Xiaochan mumbled, I'm not going. Han Fei said, then I'll go over. Han Fei jumped down from his treehouse and jumped onto Xia Xiaochan's treehouse. Don't cut me. I have something for you. In the treehouse, when Xia Xiaochan saw Han Fei come in, she glared at him fiercely. What is it? Han Fei waved the red cloth in his hand and said, turn your head. Xia Xiaochan. Han Fei said, turn around. When Xia Xiaochan turned her head, Han Fei stroked her hair with one hand and said, this is the hair tie I just made for you. It's also called a red ribbon. It's definitely better than your previous one. Xia Xiaochan gritted her teeth, holding a knife in her hand, wondering if she should cut him. Should she cut him? What if she couldn't cut him? If she couldn't cut him, should she just give up? In the end, Xia Xiaochan didn't cut him. After tying the hair tie, Han Fei tied a large bow. At this time, Han Fei said faintly, well, don't tell them that I was struck by lightning. Well, you go and take a look at them. I'm going to cultivate. Xia Xiaochan's eyes narrowed slightly. There's a big secret, right? Han Fei shook his head. No, absolutely not. A sly gleam flashed in Xia Xiaochan's eyes, and she suddenly patted Han Fei on the shoulder. Don't worry, I'll keep it a secret for you. After Han Fei left, Xia Xiaochan thought of the scene when she was struck by lightning and couldn't help shivering. It seemed that not only she had secrets, but others also had secret. For some reason, she was a little excited. It turned out that there was someone more miserable than me. Xia Xiaochan was suddenly in a good mood. Using the dagger as a mirror, she tilted her head and looked at the red ribbon and the bow, and her eyes lit up. The god of fishing. If you want to talk about the god of fishing with more like-minded people, follow Yuwa Literature on WeChat to chat about life and find confidants. Read 2. Chapter 166. 2 days later. Han Fei completed a round of cultivation of the 108 spirit-absorbing war bodies and was very satisfied with the increase in his upper limit of spiritual energy. Although it didn't reach 2,199, it was almost there. But this was not what made him happy. At night, when he practiced the void fishing art, he found that the 3rd level of void fishing was completely different from the 2nd level, and the effect was dozens of times higher. Even if he was not at sea, with the help of the spirit-gathering formation, Han Fei could absorb nearly 8,000 points of spiritual energy from the void. This speed was terrifying. He still remembered that when he was practicing the 1st level of void fishing, it was only about 300 points of spiritual energy. And the 2nd level was only about 1,200 points. Because it was too slow, he chose to go to the barbecue stall. Now, with the help of the spirit-gathering formation on the 3rd level, He could absorb 8,000 points of spiritual energy overnight. At this speed, it would only take him 3 or 4 months to accumulate 1 million points of spiritual energy. It was more than enough for his own cultivation and various combat skills. Only the deduction of the 4th level had a problem. Even if he practiced hard every night, it would take him more than 3 years to deduce 10 million points of spiritual energy. Damn it, this technique is powerful, but it consumes too much spiritual energy. It's not a problem to deduce the 4th level. But what about the 5th level? Swish, suddenly, Han Fei felt the wind behind him and he quickly activated a spiritual energy protective cover. Gotcha! The spiritual energy protective cover was broken, and a dagger was inserted into Han Fei's skin and a little blood flowed out. Han Fei was speechless. Xia Xiaochan, it's scary to see you like this. Xia Xiaochan looked at Han Fei's wound and wondered, why has your physique become stronger again? Han Fei pretended not to know. I've finished refining my thunder power. Look, it's only been 2 days and you can pierce my skin without any attack. It can be seen that my physique is not as strong as I thought. Xia Xiaochan chuckled. Even an advanced great fishing master can't block my supreme stab, but you blocked it with your body. Is this not as strong as you thought? Then how strong do you think I am? Han Fei waved his hand. Forget it. When you become an intermediate great fishing master, you can try again. At that time, it will be more than just piercing my skin. Xia Xiaochan still felt that Han Fei had other secrets. Why did he run to the top of the mountain to practice that day refine? Did he coincidentally get struck by lightning again? Something was definitely wrong. Xia Xiaochan raised her eyelids. Let's go to the competition. The Blue Sea Arena sent someone to inform me that they found some teams of intermediate great fishing masters, enough for us to fight for 3 days. Is the opponent very strong? Our goal is to become an advanced great fishing master. Intermediate great fishing masters are nothing to us. Blue Sea Arena. This place became popular again. Knowing that the thug legend was coming again, the tickets were sold out. Backfield. Han Fei saw many teams. When these teams saw Han Fei and the others, their eyes lit up and they couldn't wait to fight them. Lu Renquang wondered, these people seem to want to eat us. Zhang Xuanyu smiled and said, I heard that if we win, we'll get money. I'm also excited. Luo Xiaobai said, let's test the waters first. If it was difficult, he could use tactics. If it's not difficult, we'll just kill our way through. Xia Xiaochan pondered. I want to feel how strong the physique of an intermediate great fishing master is. Everyone looked at Xia Xiaochan. Recently, Xia Xiaochan had been obsessed and would stab Han Fei every now and then. Although she couldn't cut him, she never stopped stabbing him. In the auditorium there was a sea of people and it was noisy. This time, teachers from all 3 academies came. In the first academy, several teenagers were sitting quietly in the front row. Next to them, a female teacher said, take a closer look. If they can defeat these intermediate great fishing master teams within 100 minutes, I'll arrange for you to fight them in a few days. One of the students said, I don't think it's a big problem. Among these teams there are few perfect combinations. In terms of combat power and control ability, they are not as good as the thug legend. There's no chance of winning. Another student said, I heard that the second academy sent a team of students, all of whom are the top 1,000 masters of the 3 academies. They seem to want to measure the strength of the thug legend. A girl said, don't overestimate them. The top 1,000 masters of the Blue Sea Town are all peak-level intermediate great fishing masters. Besides, after systematic learning and tactical drills, they are more experienced than them. The female teacher said, don't be proud. The 4th Academy has been in seclusion for 30 years. This time, they won't send their students here just to fight with these intermediate great fishing masters. These intermediate great fishing masters fight together. On the other side, in the territory of the 2nd Academy, a male teacher said, It's not that I overestimate the Fourth Academy, but their perfect formation is not something these intermediate great fishing masters can defeat. So, no matter what the result is, I will consider arranging for you to fight them next time. One of the students said, "Teacher, do you think the Fourth Academy will win?" The male teacher replied, "It's not that I'm optimistic about them, but I'm not optimistic about these intermediate great fishing master teams." In the arena, the host was exaggerating the atmosphere. "Ladies and gentlemen, the long-lost thug legend has returned, but their opponents have also become stronger. In this competition, all teams are composed of intermediate great fishing masters. Any one of them has once dominated the Blue Sea arena. Any one of them has fought their way out of the encirclement in the Level 2 fishery. Don't doubt that today's game can't be missed. Let's welcome the first team, the Iron Bone team." "Oh, beat the thug legend, I bet on you. Beat the thug legend, you are the thug legend." In the entire arena, nearly half of the people were cheering for the Iron Bone team. Because it was meaningless to bet on the thug legend now. The odds were too low. And the odds on these teams were terrifyingly high. As long as they won, the chips in everyone's hands would double. The members of the Iron Bone team roared. The captain instructed, later, the two hunters block that Xia Shaochan, the armorist block the opponent's armorist, and the Soul Warrior should quickly kill Zhang Xuanyu, who is still a peak-level fishing master. I will block Han Fei and Luo Xiaobai first, and the Soul Warrior will come back quickly." At this moment, Han Fei and the other four walked out of the contestants' channel and the audience cheered. "Thugs, if we lose one game, we'll be rich." "Lose? What a 100-game winning streak. It's so tiring. Zhang Xuanyu, I love you. Xia Shaochan, I like you. Damn, Han Fei, you've lost weight. Referee, there's a fake Han Fei here today. I want a thorough investigation." Many people were surprised to find that Han Fei had lost weight. He was much thinner than before and was no longer a ball. A girl shouted, "Han Fei, what method did you use to lose weight?" Lu Renkuang's eyes were full of resentment. "What a pity." Han Fei chuckled. "Why don't you be struck by lightning too?" Lu Renkuang scoffed. "I'm not courting death." Luo Xiaobai warned, "Be careful. Their captain is very strong. He's a manipulator and a soul warrior. Don't underestimate him." Xia Shaochan pressed her hand on the dagger. "I'll go and finish him." "It shouldn't be that simple. Two hunters. They're definitely targeting you." Zhang Xuanyu was surprised. So, their captain wanted to fight 1 against 2? Deal with Han Fei and you at the same time? Did he take the wrong medicine? Luo Xiaobai said, "Let's try it first." Host, both sides are in position. Although it hasn't started yet, I can already feel the strong aura from both sides. Look, Iron Bone team is moving. Wow, Thug Legend is still as casual as ever. Then, let's see if the Thug Legend can continue to create a legend. The game starts. Fuse. Attach. Xia Shaochan immediately disappeared. Immediately after, in the right half of the field, the two fighters clashed in the air, and sparks flew everywhere. The opponent's armorist was the first to attack. Torrents of knives and swords. It was not a particularly profound combat skill, but the opponent knew it. Lu Renkuang laughed. Interesting. Torrents of knives and swords. In an instant, it seemed that hundreds of swords and knives were intersecting in the air, and the scene was very chaotic. And the opponent's soul warrior had already rushed up, and the spear in his hand shot a cold light at Zhang Xuanyu from dozens of meters away. 7-layered waves in furious sea. Zhang Xuanyu shattered the opponent's spear light. The host shouted, "Oh my God, Zhang Xuanyu is broken through to the realm of a great fishing master. This game has become very complicated." However, the captain of the Iron Bone team seems to want to fight 1 against 2. How will he deal with the attacks of Han Fei and Luo Xiaobai? Han Fei replied, "I'll go and have a try." With that, Han Fei leaped out and brandished the 2 knives in his hands, as if he was going to fight in a group fight. The audience Everyone was speechless. This was probably the most violent spirit gatherer they had ever seen. The god of fishing. If you want to talk about fishing god with more like-minded people, follow UWA Literature on WeChat. Chapter 167. Han Fei's speed was not slow. Although he knew that the captain of the Iron Bone team was a manipulator, so what? Luo Xiaobai was also a manipulator, but she couldn't control him. The captain of the Iron Bone team frowned. Insect explosion. For a moment, the ground was surging and countless beetles appeared. Soon, they covered the entire ground. Buzz buzz buzz, Han Fei was shocked. What the F***ck is this manipulator? This is an insect master. Insect disaster. Luo Xiaobai's face changed slightly. Vine killing technique. Dozens of vines broke out of the ground and instantly turned into huge whips, slapping the ground fiercely. With each blow, a bunch of insects turned into spiritual energy fragments. But the manipulator didn't care, because the moment a vine fell to the ground, it was bitten through. Luo Xiaobai's face changed slightly. Blue poisonous vine. The vines rolled on the ground. On the edge of the withered vines, a circle of spiritual insects shattered and were poisoned to death. Luo Xiaobai controlled the vines and pulled Han Fei into the air. And the opponent didn't want to be outdone. Countless insects flew up and were determined to pounce on Han Fei. Han Fei glanced at the sky full of knives and swords not far away. Me too, Blade Storm, the magic of love, I spin in circles, round and round. Luo Xiaobai. Luren Quan grinned. What is he singing? It's so unpleasant. Han Fei was spinning in circles in the insect disaster, but he still couldn't stop the overwhelming insects. A large number of insects were easily torn apart, but when the knife light flashed, Han Fei had been stung with insects all over his body. Han Fei's body surface erupted with spiritual energy, directly shaking away the insects. The captain of the Iron Bone team shouted, "Damn, why haven't you killed Zhang Xuanyu yet?" The sole warrior of the Iron Bone team was also helpless. I want to kill him, but this Zhang Xuanyu who has become a great fishing master is too strong. Only those who have experienced the 7-layered waves in Furious Sea know how terrifying it is. It was simply one wave after another. There was no chance for him to retreat at all. Fortunately, Zhang Xuanyu's realm was lower than his and his spiritual energy was not as abundant as his. Otherwise, he didn't know how to fight at this moment. Host, wonderful, wonderful. This is a feast of blade light and sword shadows. This is a showdown between manipulators. Not long after the host shouted, a figure flew out while vomiting blood. Everyone saw that a hunter of the Iron Bone team had been defeated by Xia Shaochan. Hiss, many people sucked in a breath of cold air. 2 intermediate great fishing masters intercepted a junior great fishing master, but one of them was defeated so quickly? How long has it been? It hadn't even been 20 breaths. Someone in the audience shouted, "It's over, it's over. Xia Shaochan has been freed. Where are we going to win now?" Just as Xia Shaochan killed a hunter, Han Fei's circle finally turned to the captain of the Iron Bone team. He wanted to run, but Luo Xiaobai didn't give him a chance. The vines and insects tangled together, trapping him inside. Puff puff puff, when Han Fei stopped spinning. He couldn't even walk steadily and felt dizzy. This skill wasn't good. If he used it for too long, he wouldn't even know where he was. Meanwhile, the captain of the Iron Bone team was lying on the ground, moaning. "It's not that I'm not strong enough, it's just that the gap between my teammates and the enemy's teammates is too big." In just a few seconds, Team Iron Bone, who had lost 2 members, announced their defeat. The battle had taken a total of 28 breaths. A large number of spectators were shouting, "Thug, legend, legend," someone mocked. "Betting on the Iron Bone team to win in front of the perfect combination? I don't know what those people think." Someone complained, "Who knows that even intermediate great fishing masters can't resist the attacks of these people?" In the 3 academies, a heated discussion had begun. The first academy. I don't think they are as strong as we thought. The Ironbone battle team wasn't much to begin with. Other than the team leader, no one else can. No, the thug legend obviously didn't use his full strength. Look at Han Fei. If it was a life-and-death duel, would he be running around? And those bugs can't bite him, can they? However, it can be proved that Luo Xiaobai's strength is not as strong as imagined. His initial estimation was that she was at the peak of the intermediate level. It's impossible for him to be any stronger. The Second Academy. The Iron Bone battle team can't test their strength. Teacher, should we arrange for a group of people to go up and have a fight? The teacher shook his head. Who should we arrange? No one below the top 1,000 should be able to defeat them. And you are at most on par with them, unless you want to fight now. That's true. Let the Third Academy go. They always like to steal the limelight. The Third Academy. The teacher said, let the First and Second Academies fight. We won't go up. A student asked, Teacher, shall we call the first echelon in the school? The teacher replied, No, I dare to bet that whoever goes up first will be the first to lose. Next, with the experience of the Iron Bone battle team and the strength comparison, the thug legend crushed them all the way. On the first day, they won 10 battles in an average time of 32 minutes. On the second day, they won 10 battles in an average time of 40 minutes. On the third day, they won 10 battles in an average time of 50 minutes. On this day, it was said that a team of advanced great fishing masters was dispatched. Han Fei and the others finally waited for a real battle. But to their surprise, as soon as they arrived at the Blue Sea Arena, they saw 5 teenagers of the same age walking towards them. Thug legend? Do you think it's easy for you to win 50 games? Luo Xiaobai asked. Who are you? The leading boy smiled. Yang Xiao of the First Academy. Today your first opponent will be us. We're also a perfect combination. I hope you can show your strength. If you're still the same as a few days ago, just wait to admit defeat. Zhang Xuanyu ignored this boy but said to the girl in this boy's team, Hey girl, let's get to know each other. How about I take you to eat hot pot tonight? The girl glared at Zhang Xuanyu and snorted. If you can beat me. Xia Xiaochan rolled her eyes. Zhang Xuanyu, don't be so embarrassing. Lu Renquang muttered, the other party seems to be very strong. The corner of Yang Zhao's mouth twitched. Are you listening to me carefully? Luo Xiaobai nodded. Okay, as you wish. A student behind Yang Xiao chuckled. Fourth Academy, just wait. Do you really think there are no opponents in the Blue Sea Arena? Han Fei looked at Xia Xiaochan. Is he provoking us? Xia Xiaochan nodded. It seems so. Let's kill him first, okay? Yang Xiao and the others. Backstage in the box. After reading the information in her hand, Luo Xiaobai said lightly, Let's do our best in this game. Zhang Xuanyu was slightly taken aback. That's not necessary. I don't feel that they are very strong. Luo Xiaobai continued, In the first 50 games, we didn't have a perfect cooperation at all. If we continue to do that in the future, it will be meaningless for us. Xia Xiaochan waved her dagger. Okay, if we win this game, there will be more and more masters in the future. In the arena, the First Academy team had already entered the field, and the people outside were shouting crazily. Because this team even temporarily named itself Thug Eliminator Team, which was very arrogant. The two teams stood on the field. Yang Xiao, Intermediate Great Fishing Master, Exotic Spiritual Beast, Electric Spirit Jellyfish, Spirit Gatherer. This chapter is edited by Handwritten Update, who Karen, the only girl on the other side, Junior Peak Level Great Fishing Master, Exotic Spiritual Beast, Ice Flame Tortoise, Soul Warrior. Lu Abai, Junior Peak Level Great Fishing Master, Armorist, Exotic Spiritual Beast, Wolf Crab. Sun Feiyu, Intermediate Great Fishing Master, Hunter, Exotic Spiritual Beast, Phantom Jellyfish. Lin Miao, Junior Great Fishing Master, Manipulator, Sea Green Vine. Note that he is an exotic vine spiritual plant, which may be tougher than the blue cannibal flower in terms of hardness. Zhang Xuanyu grinned. Is that little girl a soul warrior? Interesting. She's a bit strong. The other side also has an all-element lineup, and all of them have exotic spiritual beasts. Xia Xiaochan said proudly. There are many people with exotic spiritual beasts, but how many geniuses are there? Han Fei said decisively, leave Yang Xiao to me. Manipulator versus manipulator. No problem, right? Han Fei glanced at Luo Xiaobai. He smiled faintly. In the first 50 games they were just bystanders, but this time they were going to break out. Luo Xiaobai said, no problem. But if something goes wrong, I will pull you back by force. At this moment, everyone in the audience found that the thug legend seemed to have changed. They couldn't tell exactly what had changed, but they felt different. The host announced, the game starts. If you want to talk about Fishing God with more like-minded people, follow Yuwa Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidence read too. Chapter 168. Fuse. This time, the audience was surprised to find that the thug legend did not take the initiative to attack but stood still. Someone said, they're all geniuses. This is going to be interesting. Someone echoed, yes, their lineup is definitely not bad. Someone said, I've bet on the thug killer team. Since they dare to come, they must be prepared. Do you know that Yang Xiao? He's an exotic spiritual beast, electric spirit jellyfish. It's said that he's a genius who is expected to enter the top 100. I also know that Hu Karen. She's a cold flame tortoise. She can burst out cold flames in battle and can directly freeze people into ice cube. In the seats of the 3 academies, next to the teacher of the first academy, there was only an indifferent boy sitting. The teacher asked, what do you think? Not good. They can't beat Yang Xiao. The 4th academy is not qualified to rise. In the crowd, He Xiaoyu and the others were also there. He Xiaoyu asked worriedly, can they win? Yang Xiao is very strong. Wang Baiyu's face was serious. Yang Xiao is ranked 907th in the 3 academies of the Blue Sea Town. He is very strong. He Xiaoyu swallowed. Hu Karen is my senior sister. I've seen her fight. She can freeze people into ice cubes. On the field, Lin Miao took the lead and pressed his hand on the ground, causing the ground to crack. Green vines swam like spiritual snakes, and in the blink of an eye, thousands of spiritual snakes broke out of the ground. The 5 opponents were entangled by the green vines, which greatly hindered their chance to escape. Luobai shouted, Feiyu, take my knife. The dagger in the hunter's hand shot out like lightning at Xia Xiaochan. Xia Xiaochan just tilted her head and dodged it. Xia Xiaochan snorted. Provocation? Giggle. Shadow kill. Xia Xiaochan took the lead and disappeared in the blink of an eye, and a silver ray appeared in front of Sun Feiyu in an instant. Sun Feiyu's face changed greatly. So fast. Shield. Luobai reacted quickly and a shield immediately appeared in front of Sun Feiyu. Clang, a hole was directly pierced through the shield. Sun Feiyu blocked it with his 2 daggers and slid backward on the ground. He slid 4 or 5 meters. Xia Xiaochan disappeared in the vines, and then Lin Miao's face changed slightly. No, it's a shadow. Yes, Xia Xiaochan had completely turned into a shadow and appeared in front of Sun Feiyu. Ingren, shadows passed through from all directions, and Sun Feiyu's body was directly penetrated. Hiss, so powerful, Sun Feiyu just provoked him, and now he's kneeling? Pull it back. Quang, someone is using an armor box in front of you. In midair, a thin vine suddenly pulled, and Xia Xiaochan reappeared in her own half of the field. Sun Feiyu, who had just been pierced through, reappeared in midair with his illusory figure. Sun Feiyu's face darkened. He had wanted to provoke her, but he had underestimated her strength. Han Fei stepped on the ground and a spirit-gathering array appeared, and then a pillar of spiritual energy poured into Zhang Xuanyu's body. Zhang Xuanyu grinned. You're right, Walla. At the scene, half of the arena had the illusion of raging waves surging towards the First Academy. The audience held their breath. They had never seen any of the abilities that the thug legend used this time. Zhang Xuanyu stood at the top of the waves, the long rod in his hand piercing through the void. The instantaneous sonic boom directly exploded in the entire arena. Hu Karen looked solemn and shouted, "Cold flame frenzy." Next to her, Luobai patted his armor box and dozens of strange scales appeared, as if he was going to help Hu Karen. Lu Renquang shouted, "Hey, do you think I don't exist? Let me show you what a real armor is." Clang! The armor box in Lu Renquang's hand smashed the ground, and a knife flew out. In the blink of an eye, it appeared more than 10 meters away from Luobai. Wherever the blade passed, the ground was cut, and the gravel rotated with the blade. However, when everyone saw this knife, the speed of the knife was already very slow, and it seemed to take half a second to fly 1 meter in the air. Lin Miao controlled the vines to attack this knife. However, before the green vines could get within half a meter of the saber, they were all shattered into pieces. The teacher of the First Academy's face suddenly changed. Bloodthirsty broadsword? This, the young man next to the teacher wondered. What knife? The teacher took a breath. An armorist's talent combat skill, which appears with his spiritual beast. When the knife is drawn, it will not return until it drinks blood. Before it drinks blood, it is invincible. At this moment, on the waves, Zhang Xuanyu's rod had already collided with Hu Karen's cold flame. To everyone's horror, the cold flame, which was said to be able to freeze people into ice cubes, was pierced in half by this rod and couldn't get close to Zhang Xuanyu at all. Sun Feiyu's face was very gloomy. Phantom, doppelganger. Xia Shaochan giggled. Xia Shaochan giggled. Doppelganger? Wait until you have the ability to use doppelganger. Shadowless blade. In the next second, the dozens of doppelgangers that Sun Feiyu created were all cut into pieces by the blade that suddenly appeared beside him before they had time to help their companions. The teacher of the First Academy was shocked. Shadowless blade, the shadowless blade that can break space? The Thug Eliminator team was a little stunned. What kind of divine combat skill is this? None of them had ever appeared before. Luo Xiaobai raised her left hand and pointed at Lin Miao. Deep blue, man-eating. The ground was shaking, petals were falling in the sky, and a huge lotus-like blue flower on the ground opened its huge mouth and swallowed Lin Miao in one bite. Yang Zhao's eyes were bloodshot. Thunder chain. Just as he shouted this, a half-arc water wall that was several meters wide and several meters thick appeared within a range of 10 meters around Yang Zhao. At this moment, this water wall was entwined with electric current. Han Fei stepped forward step by step and stepped into the water wall, letting the electric currents flash on him. Then he stepped out of the water wall, and electric currents flashed between his fingers. Are you kidding me? Can the electric spirit jellyfish compare to the real Ninth Heaven thunder? And Yang Xiao, a spirit gatherer without anyone's protection, didn't even need to use any skills in front of Han Fei. Hu Karen vomited blood but didn't fly away. She was pierced. A rod passed through her lower abdomen and nailed her to the ground. In everyone's shocked eyes, all of Luobai's weapons were completely vulnerable in front of the bloodthirsty broadsword. Like a piece of paper, they were torn apart. In the end, even Luobai's armor box was shattered. Luobai was pierced and knelt on the ground. On the ground. It was unimaginable how strong this power was to have such a terrible destructive power. Sun Feiyu had countless clones, but as soon as he appeared, he was instantly cut. In just a few seconds, he was already covered in blood. He couldn't hide at all. Yang Xiao had 2 knives inserted into his shoulders at this moment. Han Fei stood in front of him with a smile. He thought that Yang Xiao, as the captain, must have special abilities, but he didn't. Han Fei's fighting passion suddenly disappeared without a trace. The Blue Sea Arena, which could accommodate 50,000 people, was silent at this moment. Xia Shaochan withdrew her knives. Sun Feiyu's figure fell from the sky, and no one came to his rescue. He fell heavily to the ground, covered in blood. Hukaran was nailed to the ground. Luobai knelt on the ground, covering his wound and gasping for breath. Lin Miao had fainted. Yang Xiao lay on his back on the ground. Han Fei's hands flashed with electric arcs, but it didn't affect his movements at all. He easily pulled out his twin sabers and wiped off the blood on them. At this moment, the 5 members of the Thug Legend raised their heads and looked at the audience in the arena. Clap, 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 howl, thugs, 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 legend, 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 invincible, invincible. The huge arena once again went crazy. Countless people screamed at the top of their lungs. All the teachers and students of the 3 academies got up. Especially the teacher of the 3rd academy, who said that they wouldn't fight, had a cold sweat on his back. Fortunately, they didn't fight. Fortunately, what kind of monsters are they? Are they really 5 junior great fishing masters? These are 5 peak-level great fishing masters, right? The people of the 2nd academy all swallowed. However, then they gloated at the 1st academy. The teacher of the 1st academy clenched his fist. They were too strong, as strong as the top 100. Was the 4th academy so strong? The arrogant student of the 1st academy said solemnly, "The 2nd echelon can't stop them. In the 100th game, I will fight in person. Our team members must be in the top 100, preferably the top 50. He Xiaoyu and the others were completely dumbfounded. They all swallowed. They remembered Luo Xiaobai's words and Xia Xiaochan's words. Ordinary people couldn't come in. God of Fishing. If you want to talk about God of Fishing with more like-minded people, follow Yuwa Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidence. Read 2. Chapter 169. This competition shattered the confidence of countless people. The host was incoherent. Too strong, too strong. Luo Xiaobai took a step forward and looked at the place where the 3 academies were sitting. Today, the Thug Academy accepts the challenge of all teams under the level of Dangling Fisher. At the same time, we accept the challenge of all the strong teams under the level of Dangling Fisher in the entire Blue Sea town. Fight. Han Fei also took a step forward. Whoever defeats our Thug Legend team, I will personally give each of you 10,000 mid-quality pearls. Wow, at this time, no one mentioned the name of Yang Zhao's Riot Eliminator team. Everyone who was watching this battle was excited. Their blood was boiling. Bao Jin covered his chest, his eyes horrified, and said in a hurry, "They're back, they're really back. The Legendary Academy is back." At the scene, the teams that had promised to participate in the competition all withdrew at this moment. When would they retreat if not now? Why fight? Could he win this fight? These weren't 5 kids at all. They were really 5 thugs. Wild, violent thugs who killed people like they were slaughtering fish. Could they get 10,000 mid-quality pearls? They were not fools. The intermediate Great Fishing Master team withdrew one after another. They didn't want to fight anymore, even if they gave them money. Why did they still fight when they knew they couldn't win? But those advanced Great Fishing Masters and even peak-level Great Fishing Masters went crazy. They thought they could give it a try. Although they might be suspected of bullying the weak, they could get money. As a result, the registration booth was packed to the brim. Bao Jin rushed to the registration office and shouted, Everyone, listen to me, form a team and come again. If you're weak, don't sign up. We only want the strong, do you hear me? As long as the strong." The boy from the 1st academy looked cold. Provocation? 10,000 mid-quality pearls per person? What a generous offer. The boy said to the teacher next to him, "I'm going back to choose people. I'll fight the last game of their 100-game winning streak." In a corner of this arena, there were 3 masked guys hiding here stealthily. When Ren Yu asked, "Old Bai, aren't these little guys a bit too much?" Xiao Zhan smiled. "This is a manifestation of strength. If a person is strong but not known, what's the point of his strength? Loyalty?" Old Bai nodded. "Yes. Luo Xiaobai and Han Fei's words stimulated too many people. They would need to be careful in the following battles. This was no longer a competition between people of the same level. This was skipping levels. In the last few games, the teams will definitely be peak-level great fishing masters. When Ren Yu asked, "Will it be very difficult for them to fight against peak-level great fishing masters?" Xiao Zhan grinned. "Not necessarily. These little fellows were very strong. I had no doubt that they would be able to kill a dangling fisher if they used their life-saving combat skills. No matter how strong a great fishing master is, there's still a huge gap between him and a dangling fisher." Old Bai continued, "The top 100 teenagers should be coming out soon. The last 50 battles were the time for them to crazily gain battle experience. Xiao Zhan, when you return, tell them to control themselves and only allow them to use 70% of their strength. Unless we meet an opponent we can't handle." Xiao Zhan was surprised. 70%? Fight high-level players? Old Bai said with a smile, "If you squeeze it to the extreme, the training effect will be better." The news spread throughout the Blue Sea town that the 4th Academy had risen. The 5 teenagers declared war on all the experts below the dangling fisher level in the entire Blue Sea town. He Xiaoyu walked all the way and heard people talking all the way. Wang Baiyu smiled bitterly. "I used to think that Tanggu was the #1 genius in our heavenly water village. After all, he was chosen by an angel and brought directly to the city. But now I'm a little uncertain. Did Han Fei really become what he is today because of the resources given by Tanggu?" Xiao Wushuang sneered. "Of course not. Think about it, what resources can make you so strong? How long has it been? We've been in the Blue Sea Town for less than a year, and Han Fei has been in the Blue Sea Town for less than 2 months, but he has already declared war on peak-level great fishing masters." He Xiaoyu suddenly took a deep breath and said, "I've decided. Everyone." He Xiaoyu declared, "I choose to be a hunter." "Everyone," Xiang Nan exclaimed, "Hey! Xiaoyu, don't be irritated. Xia Xiaochan's spiritual beast is a shadow shrimp. Your little red is more suitable for a soul warrior." He Xiaoyu added, "No, don't forget the speed of little red." He Xiaoyu was extremely serious. Too strong. She was the one who taught Han Fei the sweeping stick. At that time, Han Fei was beaten to a pulp by her. Now Han Fei just stood there motionless. Even if she wanted to hit him, she couldn't. How strong was Yang Zhao's electric spirit jellyfish? She knew it very well. But Han Fei just ignored it. And Zhang Xuanyu, who was terrifyingly strong. Could the soul warrior she chose be stronger than these two? He Xiaoyu thought it was impossible, but she had the talent of a hunter. Little Red, incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing. Now that she thought about it, this method could make her physique stronger and make her body more agile. With Little Red, the hunter seemed to be better than the soul warrior. Today's game was suspended. The Blue Sea Arena issued an urgent notice, seeking top masters below dangling fishers at a high price. Intermediate great fishing masters were not accepted at all. They had to be at least advanced great fishing masters with exotic spiritual beasts. Fish Dragon Hot Pot Restaurant. Luren Kwang stuffed food into his mouth. "Damn it. I thought she was very strong. And she asked us to fight her with all our strength?" Zhang Xuanyu hesitated. "Should I go to apologize to the little girl? Why does a girl want to be a soul warrior? No, can anyone accompany me to the 1st Academy later?" Han Fei said contemptuously, Hey, we are fighting. Don't try to pick up girls, okay?" Zhang Xuanyu shrugged. "I feel guilty." Han Fei winked. "Then when we win 100 consecutive victories, I will go with you." Zhang Xuanyu asked, "Really?" Han Fei nodded solemnly. "To your happiness, cheers." Xia Xiaochan sneered. "Haha, are you going to find another girl?" Luo Xiaobai asked, Han Fei, "Is the power of thunder ineffective on you now?" Han Fei chuckled. "That's not the power of thunder. You can resist it if you go. He just paralyzes your body with a momentary electric current. You just need to suppress it with spiritual energy. After a while, Li Gang personally grilled some barbecue. Li Gang praised, "Young master, you're awesome today." Han Fei said proudly, "You're all awesome." Yes, 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 young masters and young ladies are all awesome. Li Gang was shocked. He had no idea that a year ago, he was still a gangster, eating sea melon seeds every day and collecting protection fees everywhere. But now, he had become the boss of the fish dragons. Luo Xiaobai said, "Hurry up and eat. Go back to cultivate after eating." Han Fei and the others were eating hot pot happily, but they didn't know that in the residence of the mayor of the Blue Sea town, Old Bai was sitting here lazily. In addition to Old Bai, the presidents and deputy presidents of the other 3 academies were all here. Old Bai continued, "The 4-year period is up, and the top 100 competition is about to begin again. Our Thug Academy has been silent for more than 30 years. Are we qualified to participate this time?" The president of the 2nd Academy scoffed. "Humph! Have you participated in previous years? There were no signs of your 4th Academy at all 8 times. Now you think you can come just because you say you want to?" The president of the 1st Academy asked, "Old Bai, there are only 5 little guys in your academy, right? How can a 5-person academy be called an academy?" Old Bai sneered. "So what if there are only 5 people? Didn't the 5 of them beat your 1st Academy to a pulp? Even if there is only 1 person in our Thug Academy, our Thug Academy still exists. What? Do you think we only have 5 students? Do you believe that we can defeat your 1st Academy?" The president of the 1st Academy asked, "Defeat the 1st Academy? In their current state?" Old Bai said disdainfully, "In their current state they can still win. The people from our Thug Academy have never lost, not more than 30 years ago, and not now." The president of the 2nd Academy sneered. "Won't lose? Then why did you decline in the past? The geniuses of your school either died, fled, or ran away. You call this won't lose?" Old Bai's face darkened. "Su Tianji, are you provoking me? Believe it or not, I can beat you up even if the 3 of you come at me together." 2 old men and an old woman blushed and couldn't wait to pounce on him. Unfortunately, the 3 of them still had some self-awareness. Baikongi was also a big shot in the past. Even the 3 of them plus the mayor couldn't beat this guy, let alone the 3 of them. The mayor said, all right, I agree to this." The faces of the presidents changed slightly. The mayor waved his hand. "Otherwise, what do you want? Since the 4th Academy has come out, it is qualified. After all, the 4th Academy has not been abolished. If you don't give it to them, aren't you afraid that those 5 little monsters will smash your 3 academies?" Su Tianji scoffed. "But they have to be able to do it." Old Bai asked, "You mean, as long as my students can smash your academies, you will agree?" "Humph. God of Fishing. If you want to talk about God of Fishing with more like-minded people, follow You Will Literature on WeChat, chat about life, and find confidence read too. Chapter 170. As soon as the 5 of them returned to school, they saw Old Bai passing by with his hands clasped behind his back. Han Fei saw a jade slip flying towards him. He caught it in a daze, his face full of question marks. Old Bai said leisurely, "Your strength is improving too slowly. If you really encounter a peak-level great fishing master, you will be easily injured. Han Fei, learn the healing technique. As a spirit gatherer, don't you even learn the healing technique?" Han Fei was speechless. I don't have time." Old Bai snorted. "Haha, you have time to eat hot pot, but you don't have time to cultivate? Look at you, you are only junior great fishing masters. Look at them, there are a lot of intermediate great fishing masters and advanced great fishing masters. Are you ashamed of yourself?" Everyone. After Old Bai left, Zhang Xuanyu touched his head. "Is President Luo Xiaomeng irritated?" Lu Renquang wondered. "Not slow. We have a good foundation." Luo Xiaobai said calmly. Listen to President Luo and cultivate quickly. We should not be far from the bottleneck of a junior great fishing master. The arena's 100-game winning streak may be to prepare for the brocade sachets later. Han Fei looked at the jade slip in his hand. Really? Why does it feel so weird? At this time, the healing spell was given to them. Did it mean that they would be injured in the near future? Han Fei said thoughtfully, Then I'm going to cultivate on the mountain. Everyone stopped and Lu Renquang pulled Han Fei. No, you can cultivate in the treehouse. Zhang Xuanyu looked strange. If you can't, we can cultivate in a cave. If you are struck by lightning again, no one will save you. Han Fei. Han Fei walked to the treehouse with his head held high, murmuring, That day, I stood on the top of the mountain, pointed to the sky, and said, I am not handsome. Then, thunder fell from the sky and the Tao roared. The rolling thunder said to me, You liar. Everyone. Luo Xiaobai said with a black face, Hurry up and learn the healing technique. If everything goes well, we will have a hard time in the last few games. Just when Luo Xiaobai said this, Xiao Zhan appeared again. Given that you have been fighting in the arena, from today on, you can only use 70% of your strength. Don't use it until the critical moment. After saying that, Xiao Zhan wobbled away, leaving a few people in a state of confusion. Lu Renquang was dumbfounded. Is the elder going to heal Han Fei? Zhang Xuanyu took a deep breath. I have a bad feeling. Xia Xiaochan frowned. 70%? It's barely enough. Han Fei held the little jade slip and kissed it. Spirit gatherer is really a good profession. In the future, let me comfort your broken hearts. Everyone. Xia Xiaochan raised her knife and slashed at him. Go to hell and cultivate. Han Fei was forced to run away. In the treehouse, he carefully read the contents of the jade slip. Healing seemed to be more difficult than water manipulation. Radiance of spiritual energy? Taking the radiance instead of spiritual energy? Han Fei was stunned. After blinking his eyes, a string of data appeared. Healing, spirit level high quality. Note: spiritual chi has a glow which is called healing divine light. The divine splendor connected with spiritual energy to nourish billions of living beings and give all living beings the foundation to revive. Deducing the divine healing technique consumed 100,000 points of spiritual energy. Do you want to deduce? Han Fei seemed to have long been accustomed to the price of the demon purification pot. However, 100,000 points of spiritual energy was not much. Compared with the 4th level of void fishing that required 10 million points of spiritual energy to deduce, it was simply too cheap. Deduce. At this moment, Xia Xiaochan stuck her head out of the treehouse, full of curiosity. Why is there such a strong spiritual energy? Luo Xiaobai glared at her. Xiaochan, don't disturb his cultivation. Xia Xiaochan snorted. The next morning, everyone found that Han Fei was missing. When they found him, they saw that he was holding a dagger to hurt himself. Zhang Xuanyu rubbed his hands and sneered. Oh, Fei Fei, what are you doing? Do you want me to help you? Han Fei smiled strangely. Then come and stab me. Zhang Xuanyu chuckled. He had never heard such an unreasonable request since he was a child. Stab me. Anyway, you can't stab me to death. I like it. However, when Zhang Xuanyu was about to take the dagger, he was cut by Han Fei. A big cut appeared on his arm. Oh, despicable, shameless, Han Fei chuckled. Don't you know how to guard against fire, theft, and teammates? Don't move. A flickering light flashed in Han Fei's hand. He tried to shake it several times but failed to do so. Zhang Xuanyu was speechless. Can you do it? If you can't, you can practice it slowly. Don't come out to harm others without being skilled. In the end, Han Fei could only press his palm on Zhang Xuanyu's arm, and it took him a few minutes to heal the wound. Luo Xiaobai asked curiously, It took 30 minutes for the wound to be completely healed. This speed is a bit slow. It seems that I have to practice more. Han Fei said mischievously. Oh, when I master it, I'll turn you into a goddess with a ray of light. Han Fei curled his lips. I learned it in one night. Are you looking down on me because I'm too slow? Baikongi squatted in the grass in the distance, deep in thought. Is this the healing technique? Isn't the healing technique similar to the spirit gathering technique? The light entered his body like silk, but what is this large expanse of light? Blue Sea Arena. Since Han Fei's team defeated the First Academy, the Thug Legend team of 5 seemed to have suddenly become much weaker. Some people speculated that it was because the enemies had become stronger, and now those who dared to participate in the competition were all advanced great fishing masters. On the first day they fought 3 games in a row. Zhang Xuanyu and Luo Xiaobai were both injured, and they won by a narrow margin. It was not that they were not strong, but after their strength was suppressed, they had to be careful in both the output of spiritual energy and the use of move. The next day they fought 2 more games. Zhang Xuanyu, Luo Xiaobai, and Lu Renquang were all injured and they also won by a narrow margin. On the 5th day, the Thug Legend won the 68th game in a row. Xia Xiaochan was injured because she met 2 peak-level great fishing masters. On this day, the Thug Legend only fought 1 game. On the 10th day, the Thug Legend won the 82nd game in a row. Except for Han Fei, all the members were injured. Among them, Zhang Xuanyu and Luo Xiaobai were the most seriously injured and their internal organs were somewhat damaged. Zhang Xuanyu wailed, be gentle, it hurts. Han Fei, can your half-baked healing technique work? At this moment, Han Fei's healing technique was like rain, sprinkling light all over the place. The light sprinkled on the wound, making it painful and itchy. The others suffered a lot. They couldn't wait to make Han Fei smarter so that he could learn healing techniques as soon as possible. However, they didn't know that their recovery the next day was actually also related to this half-baked healing technique. According to common sense, ordinary healing techniques were not so strong. On this day, Xiao Zhan appeared and glanced at the others. Except for Han Fei, the others can use 80% of their combat power. Half a month later, the Thug Legend won 88 games in a row. Yes, 5 days had passed and they had fought 6 games. Although they won all the games except for Han Fei, the others were also injured every day. But the harvest in these 5 days could be said to be rich. Luo Xiaobai and Lu Renquang both became intermediate great fishing masters, and Zhang Xuanyu improved a little. 26 days later, the Thug Legend won the 99th game in a row. Han Fei was injured once during this period, but it was not serious and he was allowed to use 80% of his strength. The others all used 90% of their strength. Zhang Xuanyu broke through to the peak-level junior great fishing master. This speed of progress was amazing. Of course, during this period, Zhang Xuanyu healed the most injuries. His injury rate directly improved Han Fei's divine healing technique by leaps and bounds. At this moment, as long as he waved his hand, a ray of light would fall on Zhang Xuanyu's body. It would only take less than 2 minutes. The external injuries would be healed and the internal injuries would take longer. Depending on the severity of the injury, the longest would be 2 hours, and the shortest would only be half an incense's time. Zhang Xuanyu shook his arm. It's the last game. Can we use our full strength? Luo Xiaobai hesitated. Looking at the opponents, I feel that this game will not be easy. To be safe, you, Lu Renquang, and I will use our full strength. Xiaochan, 90%, and Han Fei, 80%. Han Fei said indifferently, anyway, it's the last game. If it's necessary, use your full strength. If it's a matter of life and death, use your life-saving combat skills. After all, you'll have to use them. Xia Xiaochan said, you haven't learned your own life-saving combat skills yet. You're too slow. Han Fei chuckled. After this game, I'll go find some materials and make some knives. I'll definitely practice the million-knife art. On this day, in the Fish Dragon Hot Pot restaurant, everything was half price, celebrating the 100th battle of the Thug Legend. The contents of this chapter are mobile update on this day. The Blue Sea Arena was so crowded that even the walkways were full of people. It was also the same day. Thousands of students from the 3 academies rushed to the Blue Sea Arena, waiting for the Thug Legends 100-game winning streak to be broken. Once this 100-game winning streak was broken, he would have to start all over again. But was it really that easy to start from scratch? Once they lost this match, the 100-game winning streak would lose its meaning. Backfield. Luo Xiaobai said, "You can't lose this game. We already know the information about the other party. They are a perfect team, 2 peak-level great fishing masters, 3 advanced great fishing masters, and all of them are in the top 100 of the 3 academies. If we can't defeat them, go all out." If you want to talk about Fishing God with more like-minded people, follow Yue Literature on WeChat to chat about life and find bosom friends read too. Chapter 171. When the players of both sides stood on the field, the cheers were like waves. Watermark advertisement test. The ordinary audience didn't know about the watermark advertisement test, but the students of the 3 academies were shocked. Oh my God! Su Yebai, who ranks 8th on the top 100 list, is said to have slaughtered an entire team alone. He explored a certain underwater relic alone and came back. He Xiaoyu and the others turned pale. How could the opponent of the 100th game be so strong? Xia Wushuang exclaimed, "Su Yebai is the captain. But Qin Yu, is she here too?" Chen Qing and the others were not from the first academy, so they couldn't help asking, "Who is Qin Yu?" Wang Baiyu explained, "She is a hunter ranked 33rd on the top 100 list. She is very strong and a violent player like Xia Shaochan." He Xiaoyu pointed to another person. "Not only Qin Yu, but Xie Shan is also here. He ranks 41st on the top 100 list." Xiang Nan followed He Xiaoyu's gaze. "That thin man, is he an armorist?" He Xiaoyu replied, "No, he is a soul warrior." Xiang Nan and the others were shocked. "He is so thin. Is he a soul warrior?" He Xiaoyu said enviously, "It is said that he is a natural soul warrior. His spiritual beast is a Red Sea swordwing fish and his whole body is made of knife. He also has another name in the first academy, Saber King." In the stands, in a mess of exclamations, the background of the other 2 people was revealed. One was the armorist Zhou Yu, ranked 49th on the top 100 list. The other was Yun Qi, who was also a spirit gatherer and a soul warrior, ranked 69th on the top 100 list. In the field, Luo Xiaobai frowned. "Let me try Su Yebai. Shaochan, the other party's hunter is yours." Xia Shaochan shook her ponytail. "Leave it to me. So what if he is ranked 33rd on the top 100 list? Do you really regard the top 100 list as a standard of strength?" Han Fei curled his lips. "I don't know where he found a spirit gatherer who is the same as me. He is also a soul warrior. He doesn't seem to be weak." Don't underestimate the opponent. Don't forget, the opponent is an advanced fishing master. Han Fei smiled. "I walk my own path, and when others walk, I beat them. When others keep walking, I keep beating them." Everyone, Zhang Xuanyu was sweating a little. "The soul warrior on the other side is very strong. I don't have time to care about you. Leave this person to me, I don't have time to help you." Lu Renquang was unusually serious. "This time, I'll stay with Xiaobai." When the atmosphere was heated up to a certain extent, the host shouted, "The competition begins. Fuse." At the first moment, everyone chose to fuse, except for 2 people who didn't. One of them was Su Yebai. He summoned a spider that was 7 to 8 meters long. Countless people at the scene gasped. "Eternal Night Black Spider?" At the same time, a large blue flower rose from the ground. Although it had fused with Luo Xiaobai, the blue phantom was still solid. The captains of both sides revealed their spiritual beasts as soon as the battle began. Just this scene alone caused many people's hearts to ripple. They had never seen these exotic spiritual beasts before. Before either team could make a move, the ground cracked. Tens of thousands of vines intertwined with the extremely imperceptible spider silk. Before anyone could move, a large number of vines were shredded and a large number of spider webs were destroyed. The leader of the First Academy, Su Yebai, smirked. In the next moment, a huge net covered the entire arena and fell from the sky. Shadowless blade. Xia Xiaochan took action. In an instant, countless flickering shadow blades appeared around the big net, and the huge net was cut into pieces in the blink of an eye. Qin Yu, the hunter on the opposite side, glanced at Xia Xiaochan. "I wonder which is stronger, your shadow shrimp or my ghost shrimp?" As she spoke, Qin Yu turned into a ghost that was visible to the naked eye, floating in the air and heading straight for Xia Xiaochan. When the blade swept past her, everyone was shocked to find that the blade passed through Qin Yu's body and couldn't hurt her at all. Shadow entanglement. Xia Xiaochan turned into a shadow unhurriedly. Instead of attacking Qin Yu, she shot hundreds of shadow blades at Qin Yu's shadow. Qin Yu's face changed slightly, but her ghost-like body suddenly grabbed at Xia Xiaochan. Instead of grabbing Xia Xiaochan's shadow, she seemed to be grabbing Xia Xiaochan's soul. Like a ghost. Xie Shan, the meat shield of the First Academy, grinned hideously. "You seem to be much stronger than I thought. However, don't you think a junior great fishing master can stop me? Aren't you too naive?" Xie Shan roared, and countless sword thorns grew out of his body. Around his body, there were also hundreds of small swords floating. Zhang Xuanyu showed a rare solemn look. Han Fei. A spirit-gathering array suddenly appeared under Han Fei's feet, and billowing spiritual energy poured into Zhang Xuanyu's body. The latter roared, and a raging wave came. Zhang Xuanyu stood on the wave, and a scarlet shark 7 or 8 meters long appeared. Its sharp teeth and ferocious face scared many spectators. Someone was surprised. What kind of spiritual beast is this? Why haven't I seen Zhang Xuanyu use it before? Of course, he met his match, didn't he? If he doesn't use his ultimate move, he'll die. Zhang Xuanyu raised his rod from the seawater, and a big rod tens of meters long rose into the sky and smashed down rapidly. This kind of open battle, this kind of visual effect far surpassed Xie Shan's. However, when the first blow fell, hundreds of sword blades gathered and rotated, and the big rod tens of meters long was smashed. Zhang Xuanyu shouted, "Spiritual explosion!" As soon as he shouted, spider silk came from all directions. Luo Xiaobai immediately helped Zhang Xuanyu block it. However, the spider silk penetrated the vines. Han Fei's double knives flew out. Spinning blade. The two knives quickly spun around and cut off the spider silk. The opponent's spirit gatherer, Yun Qi, sneered. "How dare you distract yourself to help your teammates in front of me?" Flaming ray. Han Fei remembered that Yun Qi's spiritual beast was a fire krill, which was a bit similar to He Xiaoyu's little red sparrow. However, it seemed to be much stronger than He Xiaoyu in terms of attack power. Suddenly, flames began to spread on the intricate spider silk. As a result, a strange scene appeared in the entire arena. Thousands of flame spider silk frantically strangled the blue vines. Han Fei rushed directly to the opponent's camp, and the 7-star chain behind him swept, shattering all the obstacles along the way. Xian Wu battlesuit. As the opponent's armorist took action, the 5 opponents were covered with a layer of armor at the same time. Han Fei even had time to glance at Lu Renquang. "Look at them, they have armor. Look at you, why don't you even let us wear armor?" Lu Renquang was helpless. "I don't have armor either. But I have berserk." Then, Lu Renquang shouted, "Berserk war body, armor cover." A layer of golden light burst out from the 5 of them at the same time. At this moment, the battle between the 5 of them seemed to be strengthened. On the other side, between Xia Xiaochan and Qin Yu, one was a ghost and the other was a shadow, and no one could hurt the other. Once there was a fatal blow, the 2 of them would either become shadows or ghosts. and the first blow of Zhang Xuanyu and Xie Shan directly shattered the area within a radius of tens of meters. A big pit was left at the point of collision, and Zhang Xuanyu was sent flying backward and caught by vines. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth, and his hand was torn. As soon as the battle began, the entire arena was covered by all kinds of combat skills. The whole arena was burning, raging waves were rolling, light and shadow were competing, and vines and spider silk were strangling each other. Lu Renkuang shouted, "Bloodthirsty broadsword!" Lu Renkuang slashed his broadsword at Su Yebai, the captain of the First Academy. The opponent's armorist was annoyed. "Do I not exist? Xian Wu Divine Shield." Rumble, Lu Renkuang was shocked. The bloodthirsty broadsword was blocked again. He immediately vomited a mouthful of blood. It was not a joke that a broadsword must drink blood. If he didn't drink blood, he would have to bear the backlash. And Zhou Yu's face was also dark. 3 cracks appeared on the Xian Wu Divine Shield. His weapon was damaged, and he himself was injured. Zhou Yu also vomited a mouthful of blood. 2 draws and 1 loss in the first confrontation, which showed how strong the team of the First Academy was. Han Fei sent a stream of spiritual energy into Lu Renkuang's body, and Su Yebai also sent a stream of spiritual energy into Zhou Yu's body. Han Fei chuckled. "Are you sure you'll let me in?" Han Fei had already passed the crowd and rushed into the enemy's side. Yun Qi sneered. "You won't be able to return. Retreat." Yun Qi, Zhou Yu, Qin Yu, and Xie Shan were suddenly pulled out of the battle. In midair, the 4 suddenly burst out with all their strength and rushed at Han Fei. The god of fishing. If you want to talk about fishing god with more like-minded people, follow Yu Will Literature on WeChat to chat about life and find confidence. Read 2. Chapter 172. Han Fei was stunned. "You didn't fight so many brittle monsters, but 4 of you ran away to kill me, a big piece of meat?" Su Yebai smiled coldly. "I knew your defense was strong, so I've been waiting for you." The enemy's retreat was too decisive. Before everyone realized what was going on, Han Fei seemed to have been hit by 10,000 points. Qin Yu's outbreak, Zhou Yu's black tortoise strike, Yun Qi's long rod, and Xie Shan, who was covered in swords, all attacked at the same time. Stunned, Lu Renkuang scratched his head subconsciously. What are they thinking? Luo Xiaobai was stunned for a second and quickly took action, shouting, "Target Su Yebai." Xia Xiaochan moved as fast as lightning. Zhang Xuanyu's eyes turned white and a soul shock went straight to Su Yebai's head. Su Yebai's face changed greatly. He saw the problem almost in the blink of an eye. The 4 people of the thug legend didn't care about Han Fei at all. Why? Either Han Fei had a power that he didn't know, or Han Fei could fight 4 people alone, or Han Fei's defense was so amazing that they didn't need to worry about him at all. Su Yebai roared, "Retreat!" 10,000 spider blood poison. Su Yebai made a mistake and immediately began to remedy it. 4 people were also coming at him, so he had to unleash his full strength. For a moment, the audience only saw the vines withering. Xia Xiaochan threw away the dagger in her hand, because the black spider venom had covered her dagger in midair. Lu Renkuang's blade storm was the strongest. It shattered all the spider threads in front of Su Yebai, and even the black tortoise armor. Seeing that victory was about to come, a huge black conch appeared and blocked the blade storm. Han Fei sneered. "You're in my water and you want to help others?" Yes, the moment the 4 people besieged him, Han Fei raised a water wall around him and waved the 7-star chain. Han Fei's figure shuttled among the 4 people like a mudfish. The 2 knives were like wandering snakes in his hands, and his control was even better than Qin Yu's dagger. Xie Shan, who was covered in swords, charged at Han Fei with thorns all over his body. But to his surprise, Han Fei ignited a spiritual energy protective cover and collided with him head-on. BM. The audience only saw the water explode. Other than Qin Yu, Zhou Yu and Yun Qi were sent flying. Han Fei was extremely fast, turning into a blur at an unreasonable speed. The person flying in front of him was Xie, who had defeated Zhang Xuanyu in an incomparably domineering manner. Bang bang bang, there were faint electric arcs on Han Fei's fist. He punched again and again, and his body seemed to be in a state of spiritual energy explosion. The spikes on Xie body shattered one by one. Ever since he was caught by Han Fei, he had no chance to escape. He had never come down from the air. Some blades were even broken by Han Fei. Even when Han Fei's hands were bombarded by the swords, they only made clanking sounds. Of course, it was not completely useless. Xie seemed to know that he couldn't escape. Under the full bombardment, Han Fei's body was now covered with blood marks. But Xie was even more miserable. His arms were twisted off by Han Fei, and the blade on his chest was completely shattered by Han Fei. At this moment, his chest was stained with blood, and blood was spurting out of his mouth. Black Tortoise. Zhou Yu's reaction was very fast. Layers of shield armor appeared in front of Xie. But Han Fei was not afraid at all. Facing the shield armor, he released a burst of spiritual energy. The shield armor shattered layer after layer, and in the end, Xie was thrown into the sky by Han Fei. Universe Strike. A blade soared into the sky. In the blink of an eye, all 7 layers of shield armor were shattered, and Xie whole body was pierced through. He fell heavily to the ground, dead or alive. Many people from the First Academy stood up and watched this scene in shock. Han Fei, is this spirit gatherer so strong? Han Fei's face was a little pale. After all, the other party was an advanced great fishing master, and the gap between their realms was different from that of a fisher. Even according to the most basic gap, Han Fei and Xie were at least 3 levels apart. But Han Fei knew that if he tried his best to kill one of them first, Zhang Xuanyu would be at an advantage. The teachers of the First Academy were pale. In their calculation, although Han Fei was strong, he was not fast enough and his combat skills were not fierce enough, so they ranked him 4th in the thug legend. The first was Xia Shaochan, the second was Luo Xiaobai, and the third was Lu Renquang. But now they found that they were totally wrong. Han Fei was 2F** king strong. 4 against 1, and 1 was killed. The audience burst into an uproar. What the hell? An advanced great fishing master couldn't break Han Fei's defense, and could only cause some superficial wounds to him. Was he still a human? The next moment Su Yebai shouted, "Zhou Yu, block Han Fei. The others, go back to help." On the other side, Lu Renquang appeared in front of Xia Shaochan with 2 brand new daggers. The latter's eyes turned cold. Poison? Giant arowana. At this moment, while many people were still shocked by Han Fei's strength, a golden fish more than 10 meters long or even larger appeared. Wow, what kind of fish is this? Almost everyone present was stunned. They didn't know this fish. What kind of fish is this? Suddenly, the teachers of the Second Academy exclaimed, "A second spiritual beast." At this time, countless people suddenly realized that there was a second spiritual beast? Don't lie to me. What was a giant arowana? Xia Shaochan didn't know. But since there was a dragon in its name, it must have the bloodline of a dragon. At this moment, the big fish opened its mouth, and a gust of wind blew and the dragon roared, shocking the entire Blue Sea arena. Outside, the mayor and the presidents of the 3 academies came one after another. They felt that something was wrong. But at this moment, the giant arowana roared, and its voice shattered everyone's black tortoise armor like a demonic sound. Because it was an indiscriminate attack, even Lu Renquang and Zhang Xuanyu vomited blood. With blood flowing from the corner of her mouth, Luo Xiaobai took the opportunity to break the layers of spider silk with her vines. Fuse. Su Yebai finally chose to fuse while bleeding from all 7 of his orifices. At this moment, almost 10 feet long sharp claws grew out of his back, and he quickly dodged to the side. And Qin Yu, who had been ready to fight Xia Shaochan, was dispelled by her roar. When she returned to human form from the ghost state, she lay on the ground and coughed blood. Yunqi replenished Su Yebai's spiritual energy and performed a healing technique. A big sword flew over from Zhou Yu's side, and he quickly pounced on Luo Xiaobai. He gave up Xia Xiaochan and Han Fei, who were no match for him at all. And this happened to be a gap in Luo Xiaobai's defense. Blood burn. Furious Sea spiritual strike. Vomiting blood, Zhang Xuanyu gritted his teeth and attacked Yunqi with his soul. Seeing that Yunqi slowed down, he smashed his rod at him. Bm Zhang Xuanyu's feet went soft. He was too close to Xia Xiaochan just now, and his combat ability was seriously reduced by her roar. Zhang Xuanyu shouted, "Han Fei, help me!" Han Fei frowned and looked at Zhou Yu, who was blocking him. Scar of War Shadows. Zhou Yu almost vomited blood. This guy is here again. I'm no match for him at all. In an instant, Zhou Yu cast multiple layers of black tortoise shields on himself and fought Han Fei head-on. Blim Han Fei was blown away, and Zhou Yu's armor was broken. He half knelt on the ground, panting heavily. But before he stood up, Han Fei shouted again, "Scar of War Shadows." Zhou Yu. At this moment, the fat man felt very wronged. Is this guy's strength and spiritual energy infinite? How many times has it been? This time, Zhou Yu failed to block it. His armor was all broken, and Han Fei ran away again. Yunqi's face changed drastically. Zhou Yu was so fat that he couldn't even defend himself. The next moment, a burst of light sprinkled on Zhang Xuanyu. Zhang Xuanyu shook all over and slashed at him with a big rod. Su Yebai didn't count on any of them now. His teammates had no chance of winning. All this was because he made a wrong decision to besiege Han Fei. At this moment, countless spider threads burst out of Su Yebai's body. No matter what, he had to kill Xia Xiaochan first. This woman's attack power was too strong for him to resist. Xia Xiaochan disdainfully looked at Su Yebai, who was bouncing at her with spider threads. She didn't even use her giant arowana but turned into a shadow and entangled him. Poison explosion. Han Fei shouted, "Retreat!" Puff! Xia Xiaochan fell to the ground, her face blue and purple. What kind of poison is this? Can it penetrate shadows? After landing on the ground, Xia Xiaochan's breath was unstable and her body was faintly red. Han Fei immediately had a bad feeling. What if she had an attack at this moment? Han Fei's eyes immediately turned red. "Little brat, I'm going to beat you until you call me daddy today." Chapter 173. Han Fei was furious. It was true that Xia Xiaochan was a little demon girl, but didn't the four of them just let her do whatever she wanted in the academy? It was one thing to make a fuss, but he still liked her very much. No matter what, it was not up to an outsider to beat him up. The point was that if Xia Xiaochan had an attack now, it would be disastrous. With so many people present, she might accidentally get dozens of patients. It was too easy for her. Han Fei stepped in the air, but his hands didn't stop. He cast the divine healing technique on Xia Xiaochan, and at the same time, a green fruit flew to Xia Xiaochan. Han Fei shouted, "Detoxify." It was over. 7 chains pierced through the void from all directions. Han Fei roared, 7-star chain, clang. Su Yebai wanted to use his claws to block the chain, but he was entangled as soon as he got close. Han Fei secretly felt that it was a pity that Su Yebai had 8 claws, and the 9-tailed mantis shrimp had only evolved 7 tails. Otherwise, the enemy wouldn't be able to move at all. Su Yebai turned pale with fright. What kind of skill was that? The chain is alive? Connect to where? Seeing that Han Fei was already in front of him, he shouted, "Attach!" Han Fei chuckled. A contractual spiritual beast wants to stop me? In the chaos, Han Fei had already held a small seal in his hand. He had never used this small seal before. He didn't want to be too ostentatious, but he was so angry that this guy poisoned Xia Xiaochan to such a state. Bang! When Han Fei waved his fist, a big seal appeared in the air. The next moment, Su Yebai was smashed into the ground like a cannonball, creating a huge crater. Han Fei secretly put the water-stirring seal back into Forge the Universe, thinking that no one saw it. The seal was so small that I could only hold it in my hand. Since then, the top 100 of the First Academy, except for Yun Qi, who was fighting with Zhang Xuanyu, had all been defeated. Han Fei immediately looked at Cloud 7. Yun Qi raised his eyebrows, swept away Zhang Xuanyu with his sword, and jumped back 3 times in a row. I admit defeat. Yun Qi was not a fool. How could he fight in this state? He tied with Zhang Xuanyu at most, and the rest were all defeated by Han Fei. 3 of them were killed by Han Fei alone. If he continued to fight, would he be courting death? The host stuttered, I admit defeat. It was a big event that shocked the heavens and made ghosts and gods weep. The Thug legend completed their legend. For the first time in more than 30 years, they had won 100 games in a row in the Blue Sea Arena. This is a miracle, this is a memorable epic. This is worthy of our cheers, our craziness. In the roar of the tsunami, Han Fei and the others crowded around Luo Xiaobai. At this moment, Xia Xiaochan looked much better. Xia Xiaochan looked at Han Fei and said aggrievedly, I didn't know he was so poisonous. Han Fei was relieved. That's good. It's a pity that the giant arowana was exposed. It's okay. We're not in the city. Don't worry. Han Fei hesitated. What about just now? Xia Xiaochan pursed her lips and shook her head slightly. It's okay. It's over. Han Fei heaved a sigh of relief. As long as she didn't have an attack, everything was fine. Otherwise, only the heavens knew what would happen. At the scene, mid-quality pearls were all over the sky, and someone was throwing them wildly. When the top 100 contestants of the First Academy appeared, countless people placed their bets on them. But who knew that the Thug legend still won? Those who won were now sprinkling pearls, throwing them out as if they were free, just because they were happy. Someone exclaimed, Miracle? A 100-game winning streak in the Blue Sea Arena. This is a miracle. Someone doubted, the Thug legend still has the power to fight. Look at Han Fei, he's fine. Zhang Xuanyu still has the power to fight. Luo Xiaobai hasn't even used the blue cannibal flower, nor Lu Renkuang's violent combat skills. They definitely won. Compared with the cheering audience, the faces of the 3 academies were not so good. Many students who came to watch the battle were dumbfounded. Su Yebai, who ranked 8th on the top 100 list, the manipulator who was almost invincible in team battles, was defeated and pressed to the ground by Han Fei. At this moment, the people of the First Academy were trying their best to rescue him, casting all kinds of healing techniques on him. When they pulled Su Yebai out of the pit, his limbs were almost all broken, and half of his ribs were broken. Those spirit gatherers couldn't help but be shocked. How much strength did Han Fei use in the last blow? Many people of the First Academy clenched their fists. This was a shame. A student said, It's a command error. They shouldn't have besieged Han Fei. That guy is just a human-shaped weapon. They can't beat him at all. Someone said angrily, What was Han Fei's last blow? What kind of combat skill was that big seal phantom? How could it be so strong? In the crowd, He Xiaoyu, Wang Baiyu, Xiang Nan, Xiao Wushuang, and the others were lying on the railing in a daze. Before, Xia Xiaochan said that when Han Fei entered the 4th Academy, he had to hold on for 10 minutes under the siege of 4 people. Now it seemed that it was more than that. What kind of freakish physique was that? Xiang Nan swallowed. They're all monsters. Han Fei killed 3 of them alone. Xia Xiaochan's second spiritual beast is extremely powerful. That big fish almost killed all of us with its mouth. Han Fei waved his hands and waved at the audience. Lu Renkuang also waved. The 2 of them were very happy. Finally, they could stop fighting every day. The host said, Look, student Han Fei. Student Lu Renkuang raised his hands happily. Let our hands sway along with them. Han Fei. Han Fei looked at the host. This person has the potential to be a DJ. If there were light sticks, would everyone wave the light sticks in their hands and shake them together? The host was indeed very excited because he was the host of the miracle of 100 consecutive victories. In the future, it would be written on the major events of the Blue Sea town over the years. The host continued, during this period of time, the thug legend has won incredible battles one after another. They have been injured and bled, but they have never been absent. Excuse me, what made them successful? The host was going to answer his own question, but before he could answer, Han Fei shouted anxiously, "The secret of success is to persevere and win. After many triumphs, you have succeeded." The host. The audience. Lu Renkuang also shouted, "The secret of success is to eat more. A strong physique cannot be separated from the support of delicious food." In the corner of the auditorium, Xiao Zhan covered his face. "No. It seems that we have to take more cultural classes in the future. If we say it that way, at least it will be more philosophical." Old Bai blew his beard angrily. These little guys are getting arrogant. Let's go back and let them feel what failure is." In the sky, the presidents of the 3 academies all looked gloomy. This time they couldn't stop the rise of the 4th academy. In the past, the 4th academy had recruited students. Occasionally there would be 1 or 2. But 1 or 2 were not enough. Who knew that they would recruit 5 people this year? Where the hell did these 5 people come from? The mayor, on the other hand, was deep in thought. Although Han Fei was amazing, he only had strong defense and strength. Although he was a genius, he had seen him before. And Xia Shaochan puzzled him. He felt that he had seen that big fish in an ancient book. But it was too long ago and he couldn't remember it. Han Fei and Lu Renkuang wanted to have fun, and Zhang Xuanyu wanted to join them. But before they continued, they were dragged into the backfield by Luo Xiaobai with vines. Bao Jin, with 2 rows of attendants, lined up to welcome them. Luo Xiaobai frowned. "What are you doing?" Bao Jin smiled apologetically. "As the first team to win 100 games in a row in more than 30 years, please accept the Medal of Honor from our Blue Sea Arena. This is an honor worthy of commemoration." Lu Renkuang and Zhang Xuanyu looked happy. What he said made sense. They had to keep the medal so that they could brag about it to others in the future. Xia Shaochan, who was still a little weak, said unhappily, "Can't it be a bonus? You can take out tens of thousands of mid-quality pearls. It's better than this." Han Fei agreed very much. "The medal can't be sold for money. The bonus is more practical." Bao Jin was speechless. "This is an honor. Besides, we opened this arena to make money. There was no bonus before." However, Bao Jin made a prompt decision. Yes, of course there is a bonus, but not tens of thousands of mid-quality pearls. Only 10,000 mid-quality pearls." Xia Xiaochan's eyes lit up. 10,000 per person? Bao Jin was embarrassed. A total of 10,000. Xia Shaochan suddenly lost interest. "That's too little. It's not enough to buy a suit of clothes." With that, Xia Shaochan suddenly looked at Han Fei. "What about the clothes you want to make for me?" Han Fei blinked. "Do you still remember this? Didn't I say this on the spot when I bought the clothes?" Luo Xiaobai looked at the ruined clothes on her body and frowned. "The clothes can be made." When Luo Xiaobai saw the cheongsam, she liked it. If Han Fei could make better clothes, she would also like it. Han Fei said impatiently, "Let's go back. Let's go to eat hot pot first?" "I want clothes," Han Fei said grumpily. "Go to the hot pot restaurant to get your salary first. Don't forget that you still have 10% of the shares." With that said, the few of them walked forward. Only Zhang Xuanyu leaned over to Bao Jin, took the medal and stuffed it into his pocket, saying, "That bonus? I'll send it to the 4th Academy." Bao Jin looked at these little guys and suddenly clapped his mouth. "Why did you give me a prize for your cheap mouth? A bunch of people who don't lack money. Don't you know that it's not easy for us to earn money?" Chapter 174. The Thug Academy rose again. Countless people went to the school to ask if they could let their children in. Unfortunately, Xiao Zhan blocked the way alone, saying that only great fishing masters, exotic spiritual beasts, and those who considered themselves geniuses had a chance to enter. Otherwise, he would come back next year. At this moment, Han Fei was desperate. He thought that the source of Xia Xiaochan's happiness was money, so he took them to the fish dragons to get their share of the money. Everyone got more than 8,000 mid-quality pearls and clamored to go to the Linglong Tower. Han Fei didn't want to buy anything from the Linglong Tower. It was too expensive, but the other four were willing to buy it. Seeing that Xia Xiaochan wanted to buy clothes, Han Fei immediately said, "Cloth, cloth." Xia Xiaochan tilted her head and looked at Han Fei. "Can you really do it?" Han Fei nodded helplessly. "Anyway, it's better than yours, and it's cheaper." Xia Xiaochan's eyes lit up. "Really?" Without waiting for Han Fei to answer, Xia Xiaochan pointed to the waiter and said, "Bring up all your good fabrics. Don't take the bad ones." The one who received them was still the beautiful woman, Yuling, from last time. At this moment, Yuling looked at Han Fei and said, "Congratulations, students, for winning a 100-game winning streak in the Blue Sea Arena. You can enjoy a 10% discount at the Linglong Tower today. We want cloth." Yuling waved her hand and someone responded and left. Yuling said, "Brother Han Fei, why don't you sell us the clothes you designed this time? As for the price, I can offer 200,000 mid-quality pearls." Hiss! The metal in Zhang Xuanyu's hand fell to the ground. Lu Renkuang staggered and quickly supported Zhang Xuanyu. The two girls were dumbfounded. 200,000 mid-quality pearls? If Old Bai were here, he would definitely force Han Fei to sell it. Han Fei rolled his eyes. "You want to use us as your spokespersons? Don't even think about it." Yuling, image spokesperson? This is a new term. "I won't sell it. I don't want to be seen all over the street wearing the same clothes as us. If that's the case, how can we highlight our unique temperament?" Xia Xiaochan immediately responded, "Yes, only we can wear it. No one else can." Lu Renkuang agreed, "Yes, we don't lack money." Yuling sighed softly. It was a pity that such a good set of clothes was going to be used on a few brats. However, thinking of the recent rise of the fish dragons, Yuling was indeed surprised. The gang from the village had spent 200,000 mid-quality pearls on the market of the Blue Sea town. During the month, the Fish Dragon Hot Pot restaurant and the Fish Dragon cards became famous throughout the Blue Sea town and made a lot of money. It was said that he made at least 400,000 mid-quality pearls in a month. His ability to make money was terrifying. Yuling had to smile and said, "Then if you want to cooperate with me in the future, please come to the Linglong Tower. We can still work together for $1 million business." Xia Xiaochan and the others widened their eyes. $1 million deal? This number was a little too big. Zhang Xuanyu and the others could only swallow their saliva. Was making clothes so profitable? He didn't know if it was too late to change professions. Han Fei waved his hand. "No, we are a small business and can't afford to make big moves. But does the Linglong Pagoda sell any Dharma treasures?" Yuling's eyes lit up. "Of course, the magic treasures are on the 5th floor. Little friend Han, do you want to come?" Zhang Xuanyu nodded. "Look, I haven't seen a magic treasure yet." Lu Renkuang nodded. "Yes, it depends. How much is one?" "Usually, it ranges from 50,000 to 100,000. An ultra-quality magic treasure may cost 200,000 mid-quality pearls." Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air before they even went up. Should they go or not? They couldn't afford it. Even if they sold the fish dragons, they couldn't afford a few. Luo Xiaobai asked, "Didn't you say last time that a spiritual weapon was only 100,000 mid-quality pearls?" "Last time it was an exchange. I'm optimistic about student Han Fei, so the price is naturally low. Normally, A spiritual weapon is at least 200,000 mid-quality pearls, and can even go up to 1,000,000. Han Fei twitched his mouth. It's really easy to make money. He felt that it was necessary to open another fish-dragon blacksmith shop in the future to forge spiritual weapons. He could make a fortune in minutes. On the 5th floor of the Linglong Pagoda, everyone looked at the sparkling weapons, and none of them could move an inch. Han Fei also took a fancy to a bow, but when he looked at the price, it was 720,000 mid-quality pearls. He immediately gave up. This is too damn expensive. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Yuling asked, Do you like it? Everyone looked at Han Fei, and Han Fei said calmly, What are these made of? Yuling pointed to the bow in front of Han Fei. This is made of purple gold. But the most important thing is not the purple gold, but the craftsmanship of the blacksmith. In terms of purple gold alone, this bow is less than 300,000 mid-quality pearls. Han Fei was shocked. The material cost is so expensive? Immediately, a look of chagrin appeared on his face. Back then, in the gate of the hexagon starfish, he seemed to have seen this material. At that time, he thought it was an amethyst, but it turned out to be purple gold. Han Fei's face turned pale. I can't afford it. Let's go. Xia Xiaochan, have you chosen the cloth? Xia Xiaochan had already given up when she saw the price and said indifferently, Didn't you choose? By the way, I want a set of red clothes, a set of white clothes, and a set of green clothes. Han Fei's face was black. Why don't you want all the colors? Xia Xiaochan blinked at Han Fei and said faintly, Can I? Han Fei covered his head. What a spendthrift woman. Luo Xiaobai also said, I want white. At most, you can add a little other color. Lu Renquang said happily, I want. Han Fei quickly interrupted, No, you don't want it. Lu Renquang. A day later, Han Fei ran out of the closed cave, holding a pile of clothes. Han Fei was a little tired. It was like raising a daughter or a lover. He had to buy them beautiful clothes. But now that they had nice clothes, they would have more. He wanted beautiful hair ropes, beautiful hairpins, and beautiful jewelry. Anyway, these things were simple. There were all kinds of gems here, and black iron was not expensive. Purple gold was too expensive. Han Fei bought one the size of half a fist, and spent 30,000 mid-quality pearls. In order not to be disturbed by Xia Xiaochan, who always liked to sneak attack, Han Fei also specially sealed the entrance of the cave. Of course, he didn't just want to make clothes. He just threw the clothes into the demon purification pot, threw some materials in, and then came up with a plan in his mind. It didn't take much time. His purpose in entering was naturally to refine magic treasures. Han Fei suspected that the difficulty of the second brocade sachet was much more difficult than the 100-game winning streak in the arena. He had to change his weapons. Then he took out the purple jade and the purple gold fish bones he got from the hexagon starfish. In the end, he only refined 2 mid-quality magic knives. With the remaining materials, he refined a total of 5 palm-sized magic knives in preparation for the million knife art. No way. As soon as Han Fei arrived at the treehouse, he saw Xia Xiaochan appear with a swish. Xia Xiaochan stared at the clothes in Han Fei's hand. They look very beautiful, colorful. Han Fei scoffed, 3 sets for you and 3 sets for Xiaobai. Lu Renquang wailed, Han Fei, you're too much. Don't you want to make any for me? I'm your brother. Zhang Xuanyu said, Fei Fei, our brotherhood ends here today. Let's call it a day. Han Fei said angrily, Get the F***ck down. You're not little girls. Each of you only has 1 set. Zhang Xuanyu jumped down. Only 1 set? It's a little too few. Fei Fei, we should open a shop specializing in selling clothes. Otherwise, we'll break 1 set every time we fight. Han Fei sneered. I'm afraid you're the one who keeps wanting new clothes to wear, right? Go, find the ultra-quality materials yourself. I'll make you a set of magic treasure-level clothes. If you can't find the materials, I won't care. Lu Renkuang didn't mind. He just wanted to have fun. For fat people, clothes were used to cover their bodies. Anyway, he didn't think fat people looked good in any clothes. After a while, Lu Renkuang jumped out of the treehouse with a howl. Okay, this is it. It perfectly covers my perfect figure. Very stylish. Zhang Xuanyu also came down from the treehouse at this moment, looking elegant. Han Fei gave him a fan and held it in his hand, but he proudly unfolded the fan with a swish, looking like a toy boy. Then Luo Xiaobai came out, wearing a white traditional Chinese dress with a pink tunic and neckline, like a little fairy. Zhang Xuanyu drooled at the sight of her. Luo Xiaobai blushed slightly. No matter how aloof a girl was, she was still a girl. All girls liked beautiful clothes, and Luo Xiaobai was no exception. It could be seen that she liked them very much. At this moment, Xia Xiaochan shouted, "Han Fei, come in. I don't know how to wear them." Everyone. Lu Renkuang mumbled, "That's a lot of information." Chapter 175. Everyone looked at Han Fei strangely and then at Xia Xiaochan's treehouse, swallowing from time to time. Luo Xiaobai frowned slightly. Puppy love? That's too early. All of a sudden, Xia Xiaochan popped up, wearing a white and red Han costume. The upper body was white with red embellishments on the cuffs, neckline, buttons, and some carvings. The lower body was a knee-length red skirt, neither short nor long, revealing her 2 white legs. Zhang Xuanyu was speechless. Zhang Xuanyu stared at Xia Xiaochan and patted Han Fei's arm. Fei, brother, let's go open a clothing store. We can definitely beat the Linglong Tower. A set of clothes is not expensive, 5,000 mid-quality pearls. Han Fei was speechless. F***ck off. Zhang Xuanyu smacked his lips. But, Xia Xiaochan, why is your hair down? What's that thing on your head? Han Fei was speechless. He made a phoenix hairpin with pearls, purple gold, and gems, but she just put it on her head. Don't you have an aesthetic sense? Xia Xiaochan snorted. I don't know how to do it. Do I need to tell you? Han Fei, come and help me fix my hair. Everyone's eyes became strange again. Zhang Xuanyu said, It should not be the first time. Lu Renkuang nodded. Definitely not. Luo Xiaobai. Zhang Xuanyu rubbed his hands and said, Xiaobai, do you want me to fix your hair? F***ck off. Han Fei climbed into Xia Xiaochan's treehouse and said, Aren't you good at fixing your hair? Xia Xiaochan shook her head. No, this thing can't go in. Xia Xiaochan fiddled with the phoenix hairpin, holding a cluster of red tassels in her hand. Han Fei smiled bitterly. This is not suitable for this set of clothes. But look carefully, I'll teach you once. After a while, Han Fei braided Xia Xiaochan's long hair into 2 twisted braids. Have you learned it? Xia Xiaochan blinked. Yes. Okay, I'm unwrapping it. The clothes you're wearing should match these. The red tassels are hanging above the left ear, and the 2 hairy balls are hanging on the braid. Look, it's still a braid, but when we bend it, it turns into a loop. Look, isn't it good now? Will you? Xia Xiaochan was stunned. Yes. Xia Xiaochan grabbed the earring again and said, I don't have pierced ears. Han Fei smiled. Then why don't you do it yourself? Xia Xiaochan shook her head. No, that's my own flesh. I can't do it. Han Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You can't do it yourself, so you let me do it? After a while. Xia Xiaochan's treehouse. Han Fei, you hurt me. I'm going to kill you. Don't move. It's the first time, of course, but it won't happen again. Can't you be gentle? I'm already very light. If I'm any lighter, I won't be able to stab it in. Below. The 3 of them widened their eyes and looked up, blinking their eyes. Zhang Xuanyu swallowed hard. Should we retreat? I don't understand. What are they talking about? Luo Xiaobai asked, Why does it bleed? Zhang Xuanyu was speechless at the 2 idiots around him. Can't you be a little more sensible? Why don't you understand anything? After a while, Han Fei ran out, muttering, I'll never pierce girls' ears again. Blah blah, puff, Zhang Xuanyu was shocked. How could someone pierce their ears like this? So unbelievable. Less than half a minute later, Xia Xiaochan jumped out of the treehouse. Suddenly, a cute little girl appeared in front of everyone. Her hair was braided, there were 2 furry balls behind her, a strand of red tassel on her left ear, and 2 red earrings hanging from her ears. She was wearing a white coat with wide sleeves and a pleated skirt with red tassels. She was a pretty little girl. When he jumped down, his wrists and the back of his head made a ringing sound. Zhang Xuanyu glanced at Luo Xiaobai. Hey! Sure enough, this differential treatment is a bit serious. Luo Xiaobai didn't hear what Zhang Xuanyu said and stepped forward curiously. Xiaochan, what are you wearing on your hand? Xia Xiaochan grinned. A bracelet, a little bell bracelet. Luo Xiaobai asked, Did Han Fei get this red earring too? Yes. Didn't he make it for you? Xiaobai, your white clothes are so beautiful. Luo Xiaobai turned to Han Fei and stretched out her hand. Bell bracelet. Han Fei. Han Fei was speechless. You two are not the same. It doesn't matter if she wears that bracelet, but if you wear it, it will ruin your cold temperament. Don't point your finger at me. Do you want an ankle bracelet? Luo Xiaobai asked. There are bracelets? Han Fei took out a slender ankle bracelet. This bracelet was originally prepared for Xia Xiaochan, but he guessed that Xia Xiaochan was an ADHD girl. If she sneaked up on others every day, she would be killed in minutes. But Luo Xiaobai was quiet. After thinking for a while, she buckled the ankle bracelet on her foot. As soon as she walked, the bell rang. Xia Xiaochan asked, What about mine? Han Fei replied, You don't need it. Even if I give you 10 ankle bracelets, you can still kick them away. Zhang Xuanyu and Lu Renquang stared at him. They didn't dare to say or ask, Can't we have bells? In order to keep up with these guys, Han Fei put on a set of fashionable antique clothes. With such a combination, the 5 of them stood together in a nondescript manner. Each person had their own style, and they walked out with their own style. Thud, thud, 3 figures floated down from the sky and landed. Xiao Zhan was holding a brocade bag in his hand, staring at the 5 of them and froze. Wenren Yu stepped forward. Xiaochan, Xiaobai, where did you buy the clothes? How much is it? Which famous designer made it? Luo Xiaobai said flatly, Han Fei made it. Xia Xiaochan asked, Ms. Wenren, do I look good? Jingle. Xia Xiaochan was still shaking the bracelet she had just gotten in front of Wenren Yu. Wenren Yu pushed her hand away and walked straight to Han Fei. You can make clothes? And jewelry? Han Fei had a bad feeling. A little. Wenren Yu asked, What do you think I should wear? What do you think of black? But it can't be pure black. It's too serious. How about some red? Old Bai coughed. Cough, cough. Ms. Wenren, what are you doing? Only then did Wenren Yu remember why she was here. She took a deep look at Han Fei and then stood back. Xiao Zhan had already come back to his senses. These kids, he had never seen such unconventional students before. Interesting. Xiao Zhan continued. Since you have completed the assessment of the Blue Sea Arena, you are qualified to get the 2nd brocade bag. However, you still have many shortcomings. For example, Xia Xiaochan, in the last game, you used the giant arowana. Why did you still fight in close combat with the opponent? As a result, you were poisoned and fell down on the spot. Are you ashamed? For example, Zhang Xuanyu, you even tied with a spirit gatherer. I really feel ashamed for you. Zhang Xuanyu continued. He is a dual cultivator. Besides, he is an advanced great fishing master. Okay. Xiao Zhan scoffed. Then why don't you ask why you are so weak? Xiao Zhan continued. This time, the result of 100 consecutive victories in the Blue Sea Arena is only average. Only one of the top 10 students of the 3 academies came. What if this team is made up of the top 10 opponents? What are your chances of winning? There was only a 50-50 chance of that happening. How can you defeat the 36 towns with such a low level? Blah blah. Xiao Zhan was tired of talking and looked at Old Bai. Say something? Old Bai nodded and then said to them, since you won the Blue Sea Arena, you won. It's not a big deal. Let me ask you a few questions. Chapter 176. Old Bai raised a finger and took 2 steps forward. First question, have you studied your spiritual beasts carefully? Han Fei and the others were all surprised. What kind of question was this? Of course we've studied our spiritual beast. Old Bai sneered. That's not research. Just like Xia Shaochan doesn't know what abilities the giant arowana has, and Lu Renquang doesn't know how to use the spiritual clam, you can't even master the basic abilities of your spiritual beast. Are you geniuses? Without giving Han Fei and the others a chance to refute, Old Bai continued, guess, when you become stronger and stronger, the demonic fish in the sea will also become smarter. Can you still catch fish? The more difficult it is to catch fish, the harder it is to catch them. Where do you think the real road of a fishing master lies? Hearing this, everyone pondered for a while. They had never considered this problem. Fishes were silly, so he could just use the bait to catch them. Luo Xiaobai asked, is there any other way besides fishing? Old Bai chuckled. You are fishing with your hands, and most of the fish you catch are ordinary demonic fish. But some people don't need bait. They just need to wave their fishing hooks and catch purple gold mines from 100 kilometers away. How do you think they fish? Han Fei and the others were shocked. Can they fish for minerals? How was he supposed to fish? That's not a living thing. Old Bai continued. I'm telling you this just to make you think about it. Old Bai continued. The third question, have you ever thought about how a great fishing master or a dangling fisher can be considered as a cultivator? Zhang Xuanyu asked. Isn't a fishing master a cultivator? Lu Renquang nodded. Yes. Fishing masters can cultivate combat skills, higher cultivation methods, and even secret skills. Old Bai pulled his beard and sneered. Fishing masters are nothing. Ms. Wenren, explain it to them. Wenren Yu stood up and smiled. Do you know why you didn't even know the other realms above great fishing masters and dangling fishers before? Maybe you have occasionally heard of hanging fishers, hidden fishers, or even other titles. But that's just hearsay. Because your knowledge will determine your height. Wenren Yu suddenly said seriously, fishermen and fishing masters are the bottom of this world. They didn't need to know anything. They just needed to live and fish for the rest of their lives. Above fishing masters, the realms are divided into great fishing master, dangling fisher, hanging fisher, hidden fisher, law enforcer, explorer, and so on. There are also powerful venerable level expert. Luo Xiaobai asked, why? Wenren Yu explained, being a great fishing master is just a transitional stage. It can't be regarded as the real beginning of cultivation. Only by becoming a dangling fisher could one truly embark on the path of fishing cultivation. Fishing was not as simple as fishing for demonic fish. When the time comes, when your strength is sufficient, you will naturally understand. As for hanging fishers, as the name suggested, some of them could already stand in the air. Just like the angels who went to the awakening ceremony in your village, they had wings on their back. Some were hanging fishers, some hidden fishers. Wenren Yu talked for a long time, and Han Fei finally concluded that fishing masters and great fishing masters were at the bottom of fishing cultivators. They were mainly responsible for teaching ordinary students and fishermen in the villages. The angler had just discovered the true meaning of fishing. Hanging fishers already had the ability to fly into the sky and dive into the sea, but they didn't have enough confidence and strength, so they couldn't transcend fishing itself. Hidden fishers could really fly into the sky and dive into the sea, explore relics, dig treasures, and search for mysterious resources in the sea. They were the main force in exploring the known sea area. Law enforcers were powerful. Those who were strong usually served as leaders. Wenren Yu didn't say what kind of mysterious leader they would be, and no one knew. Explorers were the most mysterious, and the known sea area could no longer satisfy them. They would explore the unknown sea, which was full of adventures and dangers. That place was unknown, and everything there was mysterious. Only those who reached the level of explorer were qualified to go there. Further up, there was the venerable level. Wenren-yu didn't say anything. Obviously, that seemed to be a little far away from her. Therefore, after everyone heard this, their first thought was not about those unreachable realms, but rather, what kind of cultivation path is fishing? She threw a brocade pouch to Han Fei and the others. Everyone opened it and saw 3 messages listed on it. First, explore the actual combat use of spiritual beasts. Second, comprehend the true meaning of fishing. There was nothing on the third point, only the word third. Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw this. Wenren-yu pointed to the brocade pouch in Xiao Zhan's hand. When you get the 6th brocade pouch, you'll know. If you can't get it, just graduate. There's no need to know more. Even if you force yourself to know, it will only do more harm than good. You can only serve as cannon fodder for the fishing cultivators. At this moment, everyone was a little excited. Before, no one told them these things. Even the village leader didn't know it himself. Who else could they ask? Now that they heard the secrets of different realms, how could they not be excited? In everyone's view, none of the realms mentioned by Old Bai could be reached casually. Only after advancing to a fisher would they get involved in the first secret of the cultivation world, and this was just the first one. Han Fei suddenly asked, "Teacher, can you explain weapons to us? I heard that there are magic weapons and spiritual weapons in the Linglong Tower, but why don't I see anyone using them?" Wenren-yu sneered. "Can you afford them? Then if you want to buy them, you can buy a few." Puff Wenren-yu and Xiao Zhan's faces turned green. "What do you mean you can buy a few?" Wenren-yu asked. "Do you know that a high-quality spiritual weapon is even worth millions of mid-quality pearls? Can your fish dragons afford it? Then at least if we meet it in the future, we'll know." Wenren-yu shook her head helplessly. In fact, magic weapons are much more powerful than ordinary weapons. High-quality and ultra-quality magic weapons are also very powerful. For example, a great fishing master of the same realm as you may break your defense with a magic weapon. If the other party is an advanced or peak-level great fishing master, he should be able to stab you with a magic weapon. Wow, everyone gasped. Piercing through Han Fei? Are you kidding me? Xia Xiaochan's eyes lit up. How can I get a magic weapon? Han Fei, can you lend me some money? I want to buy 2 magic daggers. Han Fei rolled his eyes. Do you want me to lend you money to stab me? Don't even think about it. No money. Humph. Han Fei asked, what about spiritual weapons? Wenren-yu looked at Han Fei up and down. Spiritual weapons can stab you at will. Besides, spiritual weapons have spirituality. They will recognize their owners. Their owners can sense the existence of their spiritual weapons from thousands of miles away. Unless the connection between the spiritual weapon and its owner is cut off, such as a small space like a sea-swallowing seashell. Han Fei asked, what about spiritual weapons? Wenren-yu said grumpily, are you done? What's above spiritual weapons? Above spiritual weapons are divine weapons and exotic treasures. Not many people have seen that thing before. Han Fei chuckled and scratched his flattened belly. So, the 3 magic weapons in my hands are already very strong? No, I have to find a way to get a spiritual weapon. This is the real way to save my life. Seeing Han Fei stop, Wenren-yu continued to preach. Usually, when you are a fisher, you can't get in touch with any combat skills and weapons. When you become a fishing master, you'll only see some low-level combat skills. And when you become a great fishing master, you've seen the heritage of our Thug Academy and countless cultivation methods. The strongest cultivation method can reach the heaven level, which is incomparable to the other 3 academies. Then Wenren-yu said seriously, and I have to tell you not to rely too much on combat skills. Combat skills are just a means of combat. When you fight, the situation changes rapidly. Sometimes the effect of low-level combat skills may not be worse than that of heaven-level combat skills. Everyone was thinking, "That's true, but who doesn't want the best?" Luo Xiaobai asked, "Mortal level, mystic level, spirit level, demon level, heaven level. What happens after that?" Wenren Yu continued, "After that? It's okay to tell you. Maybe you will also have your own opportunities. Above the heaven level is the venerable level, but it's very rare. Even in the city, ordinary heavenly talents can at most get a heaven-level combat skill, or at most a venerable level. Even in a city, there won't be a heavenly talent with a venerable level combat skill." Han Fei swallowed. "There are so few venerables?" Han Fei suddenly realized that the indestructible body seemed to be at the venerable level. Just this deduction required 100 million points of spiritual energy. If he really deduced it, what level would it be? Han Fei asked, "Teacher, is there a division of grades within each level?" Wenren Yu nodded. "Not a big deal. There are only 3 grades plus an ultra quality." Han Fei asked, "Is the highest grade the ultra quality?" Wenren Yu was about to nod, but Old Bai said, "No. It's said that there is a divine quality above the ultra quality, but at least we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it, and theoretically, it doesn't exist in the city. Even if it does exist, there are only a few people." Chapter 177. He couldn't help but feel excited. It wasn't until today that he fully understood the relationship between realms, combat skills, and weapons. He also understood why Luo Xiaobai, Xia Shaochan, and the others were the best fighters, even though their spiritual heritage and spiritual beasts were not bad. There was no other reason. In the end, it was still the combat skills that were strong, so strong that they were explosive. Old Bai said, "I just want to supplement your knowledge of the cultivation world. However, you don't have to think too much because many things are out of reach. Okay, the 3 questions. I think you've already understood what it means to be a fishing master. Before becoming a dangling fisher, you are all cannon fodder. If you don't become a dangling fisher as the strongest fishing master, you are still cannon fodder. As for the first question and the second question, you need to study them yourself." Luo Xiaobai asked, "President, about the second question, if fishing masters don't fish demonic fish, what do they fish for?" Old Bai replied, "It's not that we don't fish for demonic fish, but can't you fish for anything else besides demonic fish? There are billions of treasures hidden in the infinite ocean. You don't even look for treasures, but fish every day. Do you want to eat them?" Old Bai looked at them speechlessly. "I've already said it like that, so why can't you wrap your head around it?" Old Bai left angrily. Wenren Yu gave a weird smile and then also left. Xiao Zhan sighed and looked at them. "Like you, I thought fishing was simply fishing for demonic fish, but it's not. Let me ask you, if a place in the sea is abnormally rich in spiritual energy, what will you do?" Lu Renquang immediately replied, "There must be something good. Of course we'll jump down to look for it." Xiao Zhan's face was black. "Shut up." Luo Xiaobai wondered, "Do we fish?" Xiao Zhan smiled. "Can't we fish? When you enter the level 3 fishery one day, do you really think there will be fish stupidly coming to eat your fish hooks?" He thought of the hexagon starfish. That thing was very cunning. When it needed his help, it would give all kinds of benefits to others. As soon as it was freed, it would run away. Han Fei thought for a moment. So, in the end, it's not that we are fishing, but that there is no limit to the kind of fishing. We can also fish for demonic fish and treasures. Anyway, we can fish for all the good things. Xiao Zhan replied, "In your dreams. You have to be strong enough to do that. I won't say what kind of cultivation technique you guys use. Everyone has their own opportunities. Although the cultivation method was different, the result was the same. For example, if you practice the true spirit fishing art, you should learn how to control water. You need to fish according to the pulse of water and the intensity of spiritual energy. I don't need to teach you this kind of thing. Go and try it yourself. Everyone was taken aback. Teacher, can we go to sea now? Xiao Zhan replied. Otherwise, why would I stay here? You still want to fight in the arena? However, you need to know why you're here. I'm not asking you to fish for demonic fish, but to study your spiritual beasts thoroughly and see if you can understand the true meaning of fishing. Wow! Yay! We can finally go out to sea. Xia Shaochan was overjoyed. Should we go now? Luo Xiaobai's eyes glittered. No rush. Let's see if there's anything we need to prepare. Zhang Xuanyu said, I need a day. I want a day too. Lu Renquang added, then I want a day too. You all have something to do, but I don't. I've decided to eat hot pot for a day. Xia Shaochan rolled her eyes at Lu Renquang. It's not like I won't come back. Lu Renquang smacked his lips. That's different. I'll come back to eat and I'll leave to eat. Xia Shaochan was speechless. Foodie. That night, Lu Renquang went to the hot pot restaurant. Xia Shaochan took Luo Xiaobai's hand and prepared to go shopping for a day. Han Fei locked himself in the cave and no one knew what he was doing. Zhang Xuanyu disappeared magically with thousands of mid-quality pearls. The First Academy, full name Blue Sea Academy. He Xiaoyu and Wang Baiyu were both here. At this moment, He Xiaoyu was training with Wang Baiyu. She decided to become a hunter. Clang, 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 Wang Baiyu suggested, He Xiaoyu, why don't you be a soul warrior? Your talent is very suitable for a soul warrior. He Xiaoyu shook her head. No, I want to be a hunter. He Xiaoyu's attacks were all blocked by Wang Baiyu in vain. However, Wang Baiyu was also very surprised. His talent should be higher than He Xiaoyu's, but why was He Xiaoyu so strong? It was completely beyond the strength that a girl should have. Just when He Xiaoyu was sweating, a girl hurriedly ran over. Xiaoyu, Xiaoyu, Han Fei from the Fourth Academy is looking for you. He seems to have a conflict with someone from our school. He Xiaoyu, huh? He Xiaoyu jumped up. I'm going to take a bath. Wang Baiyu scoffed. What bath? You've been classmates for 4 years. Haven't you seen each other? He Xiaoyu snorted. It's none of your business. At the gate of the First Academy, a group of people surrounded Han Fei. Someone said angrily, Han Fei, what do you mean? You defeated our First Academy and now you want to provoke us? Han Fei replied, Don't flatter yourself. I'm looking for someone. The man was furious. Bullshit. Last night, Zhang Xuanyu also came to look for someone. Then, he abducted Hu Karen from the First Academy. You're looking for someone again? Who do you want to abduct? Han Fei. Han Fei was dumbfounded. What? You mean Zhang Xuanyu has been here? And abducted her? Han Fei recalled and immediately slapped his thigh. Danby * starred. This guy really came to look for that little girl? Is he crazy? Han Fei pretended to be calm. I'm different from him. I don't abduct people. I'm looking for He Xiaoyu. As soon as he said this, dozens of people were angry. How the F***ck did he say he didn't abduct people? Isn't He Xiaoyu a girl from our school? And she's a pretty girl. Not only the boys were boycotting him, but also some girls came out to defend him. Scumbag, you're obviously in love with Xia Shaochan, but you're still hooking up with a girl from our school. Han Fei's face darkened. Girl, you have to be responsible for your words. He Xiaoyu and I are both classmates from the Heavenly Water Village. I have something to talk to her about. Can't I? The girl responded. No, now our whole school is boycotting the Fourth Academy. A girl echoed, yes, boycotting thugs. A boy sneered. Yes, I won't give you a chance to cheat on her. Han Fei was speechless. F***CKU. If you keep talking, I'll beat you up. The boy immediately grasped the long knife on his waist. Sure enough, your purpose is not pure. You still want to pick a fight with me. Han Fei rolled his eyes. I don't want to talk to you. Now I know why the First Academy is so weak. Look at you. You don't cultivate but boycott this and that every day. Too much, too arrogant. A group of people scolded him, but no one dared to hit him. They had seen the battles of the thug legend, especially Han Fei, who slapped Su Yebai half to death. They couldn't beat him, so they could only scold him. Get out of the way. What are you doing? He Xiaoyu walked out of the crowd angrily. A girl said, He Xiaoyu, we are enemies with the 4th Academy. Don't support the enemy. A girl took He Xiaoyu's hand. Yes, he wants to cheat on her. Last night, Karen was tricked by Zhang Xuanyu to go out and didn't return all night. Today, Han Fei is here. He Xiaoyu shouted, Oh, what? I'm good friends with Han Fei. We're classmates. He Xiaoyu broke free from the girl's hand and ran to Han Fei. What's wrong? Why did you suddenly come to me? Han Fei said, Let's go. Follow me. Behind him, a group of boys and girls of the 1st Academy beat their chests and stamped their feet. They couldn't resist the temptation. They could only watch Han Fei abduct He Xiaoyu. A girl suggested, They can come to our school to abduct people. Can't we abduct people from the Thug Academy? Which boy would be willing to go? Next to her, several boys put their arms around each other's shoulders. Hey! I feel that my strength has improved recently. Let's go practice? You feel it too? Yes, I feel it too. Let's practice. Well, I feel that I'm about to master the stick technique. When I master it, I'll fight my way to the 4th Academy. After a bunch of messy excuses, there was only a group of girls at the door staring at each other. And those boys snorted. Abduct Violent Cicada and Iceberg Xiaobai? Was there something wrong with those girls' brains? Xia Xiaochan is too violent, not to mention Luo Xiaobai. She's so cold that I can't even tease her. After a moment, in a place where no one was, He Xiaoyu said shyly, Han Fei, what can I do for you? Han Fei looked serious. He had a hunch that this trip would not be simple, and the road to finding the true meaning would not be simple. Han Fei said, He Xiaoyu, I want to tell you a few things. Seeing that Han Fei was not joking, He Xiaoyu couldn't help but panic. Is there something wrong? Han Fei shook his head, not intending to tell her. Nothing, I just came to ask you to do me a few favors. He Xiaoyu. Han Fei continued, First, help me pass the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing to Wang Baiyu and Xia Wushuang. Han Fei said with a smile, It's not a magical combat skill. Just teach it to me. Second, if you go back to the village recently, help me go to the plantation when you have time. Ask them to help old Jiang clean up the plantation. I may not go back for a while. He Xiaoyu asked worriedly, Han Fei, is there something wrong? Han Fei shook his head. What can happen to me? I just don't have time to go back for secret training. In the end, Han Fei hesitated and handed a jade slip to He Xiaoyu, saying solemnly, If one day you are no longer satisfied with the life pursuit of a great fishing master and you feel that you must become stronger, read this jade slip again. He Xiaoyu took it in surprise and wanted to check it immediately, but the jade slip didn't respond at all. Han Fei continued, You can't open it now. When you become a great fishing master, you can open it. Okay, I'm leaving. Chapter 178. At the departure port, Han Fei and the other 4 got on their fishing boats and waved goodbye to Xiao Zhan. After they flew away, Old Bai and Wenren Yu emerged from the crowd. Wenren Yu complained, Why me? Old Bai scoffed. Who told you to lose the rock-paper-scissors game? Wenren Yu sighed. These people are not easy to settle down. They will definitely go to those places. Old Bai touched his beard. Then let's go. Those places can't kill them. 5 fishing boats sailed in the air. Xia Xiaochan pointed at Han Fei and said, Why is your fishing boat so beautiful? Why is our fishing boat so ugly? Han Fei said proudly, Someone gave it to me. Xia Xiaochan shouted, That's too much. Han Fei, I want to exchange fishing boats with you. Han Fei rolled his eyes. Go away. Didn't you hear what the teacher said? We're going to the level 2 fishery, not together. We'll meet every 3 days to exchange experiences. Xia Xiaochan grabbed the map with one hand. But why are we going to the level 2 fishery? We can't fish normally, and we have to experience the true meaning of fishing. When we get there, we'll study our spiritual beasts first. We really haven't studied them in depth. Lu Renkuang looked at Han Fei with a wretched smile. Han Fei, give me some of the barbecue in your sea-swallowing seashell. Han Fei said grumpily, eat, eat, eat. Lu Renkuang responded with a smile. Otherwise, how lonely it is to be alone on the sea. While everyone was chatting, only Zhang Xuanyu's breathing was unstable, and he seemed a little excited. Han Fei asked contemptuously, Zhang Xuanyu, tell me honestly, where did you go last night? Zhang Xuanyu said faintly, I went to do what a man should do. Xia Xiaochan wondered, what should a man do? Han Fei shrugged. Forget it, Xia Xiaochan, you have to study your giant arowana. That thing attacks indiscriminately. It's a bit troublesome. Xia Xiaochan sighed. I can't control it. It doesn't listen to me. Everyone, Luo Xiaobai frowned. Why doesn't it listen to you? The Blue Sea town was a bit far from the level 2 fishery, unlike the level 3 fishery, where there was a teleportation array. In the level 2 fishery, they could only fly. About 4 hours later, they arrived at the level 2 fishery. The level 2 fishery was much larger than the level 1 fishery. It was a ring that surrounded both the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery. Because it was too vast, no one could be seen on the surface of the sea. Perhaps in the Blue Sea arena, one could see great fishing masters every day. But walking on the streets of the Blue Sea town, great fishing masters were rare. Even though there were many great fishing masters, how vast was the level 2 fishery? The probability of them meeting each other was not high. As soon as the fishing boat landed on the water, Luo Xiaobai pointed at the map and said, Everyone should know where we are now, right? 3 days later, we will gather here again. Be careful. Xia Xiaochan said cheerfully. I'm leaving, Lu Renkuang muttered. It's so troublesome to run around. Anyway, we're all studying spiritual beasts. I'll stay here and wait for you to return in 3 days. Han Fei, my barbecue. Han Fei helplessly took out a handful of barbecue and handed it over. Eat, eat. Don't sleep on the sea for 3 days. Luo Xiaobai said, I'm going north. Zhang Xuanyu, why don't you go into the water? The ocean. Treasures. All the good things are down there. Han Fei suddenly looked at Zhang Xuanyu. This kid is good. What a high level of awareness. Han Fei said, Ahem Yu, we have to study at least for the first 3 days. You have to go to the sea. Otherwise, as soon as you come down, you'll be gone on a treasure hunt. Zhang Xuanyu nodded. That seems to make sense. Then how many days later? Han Fei said leisurely, in a few days. Luo Xiaobai said with a black face, Let's complete the task assigned by our teacher first. We'll exchange our experiences in 3 days. Han Fei shrugged. Okay. Then I'm going south. In the blink of an eye, everyone went their separate ways, except for Lu Renkuang, who stayed where he was. After running for about 100 kilometers, Han Fei stopped the fishing boat. With a flash between his eyebrows, Little Black and Little White ran out around him. Huh. Level 17? When did you upgrade? Why didn't I know? While Han Fei was stunned, the 2 little fish plunged into the water. Come back. Han Fei's face was black. I haven't been in the water for 2 or 3 months. Do you have to be so excited? Little White obediently flew back to Han Fei's side. But Little Black was never obedient and didn't respond for a long time. Just when Han Fei was about to take them back, waves rose in the water and he saw Little Black holding a big fish nearly 2 meters long in his mouth. Name Strip Fish Introduction, a common fish in the level 2 fishery. Its dorsal fins are like swords. From head to tail, it has extremely fast speed and strong jumping ability. Level 24 quality regular contains spiritual energy greater than 187 points, collectible ordinary fin sword, absorbable. Han Fei looked at Little Black speechlessly. Did I ask you to catch fish? As soon as you entered the sea, you caught a fish. You're only level 17. Little Black held the strip fish in front of Han Fei as if asking for credit. Han Fei looked at the strip fish whose back was almost bitten through and casually kicked it to the deck. Han Fei didn't panic. Anyway, he had come down. Wasn't it just a matter of time before he went into the sea? Han Fei said, Little Black, show me your abilities. Except for invisibility and biting. Little Black circled around Han Fei, blinked his eyes, and suddenly opened his mouth. Han Fei was startled by her words. The little fish's mouth, which was originally the size of a cherry, was even bigger than a palm. Han Fei's eyes widened. What the F***ck? The teacher was right. This little thing did have a lot of secrets. How the F***ck did it open its mouth? Unfortunately, Wenren you hadn't seen this scene yet. Otherwise, she would have been scared to death. Although spiritual beasts could communicate with their masters. However, in many cases, spiritual beasts themselves didn't know what abilities they had. They were just using their abilities instinctively. It was for this reason that they needed to be explored. How could they be like Han Fei? How could his spiritual beast show him its new ability just by asking? Han Fei swallowed. What else? What other abilities do you have besides having a big mouth? Little Black circled twice in confusion and suddenly opened his mouth again. This time, it was even more exaggerated, directly opening his mouth to the size of a washbasin. Han Fei was startled again and immediately said angrily, Do you have any other advantages besides having a big mouth? For example, can you dig for treasures, find treasures, catch exotic demonic fish, and so on? Little Black was even more confused. He felt that maybe his mouth was not big enough. The next moment, Little Black's body suddenly became at least 3 times bigger. When he opened his big mouth, he could swallow people. F***ck. Han Fei sat on the deck. Little Black? It should be called Big Black. But he was also surprised. Little Black could become bigger? Han Fei asked, Little Black, how big can you become? This time, Little Black seemed to move. His body became bigger and bigger, reaching about 5 times his original size. But even if it was 5 times bigger, it was still less than 2 meters long. After trying for a while, Han Fei found that this guy had no other abilities except for growing bigger and smaller and opening his mouth wide. However, this guy was very good at eating. The whole strip fish lying on the deck was swallowed by him. However, this guy's body size didn't change at all. Han Fei didn't know where he ate. Then Han Fei looked at Little White with a smile. Little White, what abilities do you have? Can you show me? Little White blinked its eyes and spat a mouthful of pure spiritual energy at Han Fei. Han Fei grabbed the spiritual energy, swallowed it into his mouth, and said, Little White, what else can you do? Little White thought Han Fei wanted to see him grow bigger. So it also grew bigger, almost the same size as Little Black, but Little White refused to open its mouth wide. Han Fei was speechless. Come back smaller, come back smaller. You look better when you are smaller. Han Fei took out a low-quality spiritual stone and said patiently, Little White, I mean, apart from growing bigger and smaller, what other abilities do you have? For example, looking for treasures, digging treasures, and so on? Little White stared at the spiritual stone for a while, but Little Black suddenly came up and swallowed the spiritual stone in one gulp. He even chewed it in the corner of his mouth, which had a crunchy feeling. Han Fei immediately said angrily, What are you doing? My low-quality spiritual stone. You foodie, you can eat even more than Lorenquang. But just after Little Black ate the low-quality spiritual stone, Little White spat out a string of pure spiritual energy, which seemed to be purer than the spiritual stone. Han Fei raised his eyebrows. Han Fei raised his eyebrows. He had long noticed this. In the past, he thought that when Little Black was full, Little White wouldn't spit out spiritual energy. But now it could keep spitting out? But after a while, when Little White stopped spitting out spiritual energy, Han Fei found that a low-quality spiritual stone should have nearly 10,000 points of spiritual energy. But after Little White spat out, there were only 6,000 points left. The point was that Han Fei couldn't absorb these 6,000 points of spiritual energy. His upper limit of spiritual energy had reached 2,199 points, so his body could only bear this much. The rest would be used to store spiritual energy, which was equivalent to a loss for him. The only consolation was that the spiritual energy spat out by Little White nourished his body better than what he could get through cultivation. Han Fei asked, "Anything else?" Chapter 179. Han Fei knew that Little White had another ability, which was to find spiritual energy. He had seen this when he was in the undersea mine. It was Little White who led him to the spiritual stones. Little White jumped into the water. Seeing Little White jump, Little Black also jumped in. Then, Little White swam in one direction with Han Fei. Han Fei frowned. Are they looking for treasures or spiritual energy? After running with Little White for about half an hour, Little White stopped running and began to spin in place. Han Fei frowned and took out his fishing rod without saying a word. Although Old Bai didn't allow them to bring bait this time, after transmitting spiritual energy to the fishing rod, Han Fei could feel a small area underwater through the fishing rod. This was the exclusive ability of void fishing, which others didn't have. The fishing rod went deeper and deeper, sinking nearly 200 meters. Suddenly, Han Fei saw a golden squid fly out with a swish and disappear without a trace in the blink of an eye. Shit, Han Fei didn't know what squid it was, but judging from its speed of escape and its instantaneous reaction, it was definitely not an ordinary squid. Does Little White have the ability to find rare or even exotic creatures? Han Fei looked at Little White with a strange look. If it had this ability, wouldn't he be able to make countless of these creatures? Let them fuse with each other and turn them into mysterious creatures, legendary creatures, or even stronger creatures. Han Fei said hurriedly, "Little White, can you still find it?" Han Fei's eyes were shining and he felt that he was going to make a fortune. The image of himself controlling a large army of legendary creatures appeared in his mind. If that happened, wouldn't the ocean become his home field? If he met an enemy, he would release hundreds of legendary creatures to kill him. Would he be afraid? Little White hesitated for a long time and finally didn't move. Han Fei sensed that Little White couldn't find the other party. Han Fei regretted it. There was once an exotic creature in front of me, but I didn't cherish it. When I scared it away, I regretted it. Unable to find the squid, Han Fei just experimented with the water vein technique for a while and then put away the fishing pole. If the first and second levels of void fishing taught people how to fish, then the third level, water vein technique, taught people how to turn the hook and the fishing line into the pulse of water. In this case, the hook could approach the fish quietly and catch them with the help of the fishing method. However, after trying a few times, it didn't seem to work very well. It was probably because he hadn't grasped the essence. Out of 10 attempts, only one succeeded. Han Fei was not in the mood to practice. He asked Little White many times if he could find the squid. In the end, that damned squid seemed to have disappeared, and there was no way to find it. Han Fei lay down on the deck, face up. "Don't you have any other abilities? How the hell was he supposed to dig? I can't turn into a fish, can I?" Thinking about it, Han Fei was a little confused. If he had known this, he would have gone to the bottom of the sea to dig for treasures with Zhang Xuanyu. For some reason, a wave of drowsiness washed over him and he fell asleep on the deck. Suddenly, Han Fei shuddered and opened his eyes. As soon as he opened his eyes, he was startled. The world he saw was grotesque. He saw plankton of all shapes and sizes, and he saw huge fish swimming past his eyes. "What's going on?" Han Fei wanted to shout, but a string of bubbles came out of his mouth. Han Fei. Han Fei wanted to turn his head, but he couldn't feel his legs at all. Tail? I have AF asterisk king tail? Damn, Little White? Han Fei saw Little White circling around him. However, Lil White's head had become extremely big, and it didn't look beautiful anymore. Wow. Did I become Little Black? Han Fei was stunned. This was a very wonderful experience. He became a fish, swimming with fins and tail, and the vision of his eyes changed, just like the vision of taking a picture from the bottom up or from the top down. It was similar. Where am I? Han Fei wagged his tail and swam, opening his mouth to drink a mouthful of seawater from time to time. Then, his cheeks began to open, and the scales on his body also slightly opened. After absorbing oxygen from the water, he continued to close his mouth. Han Fei was stunned and didn't know what to do for a while. I've become Little Black. What about me? For a moment, he wondered if he was dreaming. But how could a dream be like this? When a fish that looked about the same size as him swam past him, Han Fei was dumbfounded. Name: Bone Spur Fish, primitive spiritual beast. Introduction: has bone spurs, extremely strong attack power, and attacks often catch people off guard. Level 13 quality regular, contains soul energy greater than 152 points. Howl. Feeling that his body was out of control, he rushed up and bit it until the innocent bone spur fish was bitten into pieces. Then Han Fei regained control of his body. What the F asterisk CK? Who can explain to me why? What the hell is this place? What the hell is a primitive spiritual beast? Why do I feel a little stronger? Is it because I ate that fish? There seemed to be no concept of time here. Han Fei felt that he had swum for a long time and eaten several fish. There were some that he wanted to eat, but they also ran very fast. Han Fei saw many unknown fish, shrimps, and crabs, as well as familiar ones, such as spirit-chasing shrimp, cold flame turtles, and lightning crabs. These were all F** king primitive spiritual beasts. At this point, an extremely shocking idea emerged in Han Fei's mind. Isn't this the level 2 fishery? Is this the sea where Little Black and Little White came from? When he was awakened, Han Fei saw this sea. At that time, there was a film between him and this sea. Countless kinds of fish seemed to want to pass through the film, but in the end, only Little Black and Little White passed through. Yes, that's the sea. This should be Soul Ocean? After figuring this out, Han Fei was stunned. What's going on? How did I come here? And I've become Little Black? If this is the Soul Ocean, doesn't it mean that these things in front of me are all spiritual beasts? Han Fei swore that he had never seen so many spiritual beasts before. Han Fei was a little anxious. If he became Little Black, where was he? Or could it be that his soul was attached to Black's body? At this time, Han Fei saw a huge monster swimming past him. He took a closer look. What's that? A golden dragon? An arowana? F** CK, what the hell is this place? Han Fei trembled with fear. He saw a huge arowana swimming past him. Name: Golden Arowana, primitive spiritual beast. Introduction: it has a trace of golden dragon bloodline. After awakening, its quality will mutate and its attack power will be extremely strong. Level 29 quality exotic, contains soul energy greater than 360 points. This time, Little Black didn't rush up to bite it, because he might not be able to bite it. Han Fei frowned. Little Black is so arrogant that it will bite whoever it catches. Will it be eaten by other spiritual beasts in this damn place? After observing for a while, Han Fei was relieved. It turned out that under normal circumstances, these spiritual beasts would not attack each other. But it was not absolute. Han Fei saw a mantis shrimp attacking other spiritual beasts and smashing them to death with a hammer. Then he dragged them back to his cave and began to eat. At this moment, countless thoughts flashed through Han Fei's mind. If the spiritual beasts were in this kind of environment, wouldn't they be in danger of dying at any time? But in the real world, He had never heard of anyone's spiritual beast dying inexplicably. No, there must be something wrong. Trying it out, Han Fei picked a swordfish spiritual beast after a long time and took a few bites. The swordfish spiritual beast felt pain and then fled, not intending to fight with Little Black at all. After that, Han Fei ran to another spirit-swallowing fish of the same kind. He wandered in front of the spirit-swallowing fish, but the fish didn't seem to see him. Han Fei suddenly understood. Damn, I forgot about Little Black's invisibility. Can I enter Little White's body? As soon as he thought of this, Han Fei felt dizzy. His identity changed and he saw Little Black's whole body. I've become Little White? Haha, interesting. Can I switch between these two little guys? Han Fei was not as flustered as he was at first. Since he could come here, there must be a reason. After eating a few fishes, Han Fei felt very energetic. At this moment, he controlled Little White's body and swam to the spirit-swallowing fish. However, something unexpected happened. This spirit-swallowing fish still couldn't see him? He could understand that it couldn't see Little Black because Little Black was invisible. But it couldn't see Little White?